same issue, but it's in that video.
God save the King!
God save the King!
Sentences of 10 years in the case of Ekweremadus, 10 years and 6 months in the case of Ekweremadus, and 6 years in the case of Beatrice Ekweremadus. Ekweremadus, stand up, please. There are aggravating features in your case. You deliberately targeted a victim who was particularly vulnerable due to his young age, his isolation from his immediate family, and his poverty. After the conspiracy to exploit C was thwarted, you continued to try and find another person to be exploited in the same way. As against that, you have no previous convictions, and you are a person of good character.
Gentlemen, keep quiet.
What do you want to hear from me?
Just share with us what you want the Nigerians to know.
And what the meeting was about.
What the meeting was about.
My brother came on consultation with me. Yesterday, I saw the president-elect on his invitation, and he told me that he's already committed, and he said, please don't run. And I accepted, and I stepped down for my brother.
Okay, Jack, are you saying that since Wapabi is not the consensus
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will come from the South, and no other person than the former governor of Akwa Ibom.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes Africa. No, this is It's been a wonderful day. It's been a tough day for me. But anyway,
Because you woke up too early.
yeah,
And
yeah,
too
yeah.
late.
So many things going on. Welcome to another episode of Have Yourself for 247. My name is Rodolfo Okonkwo. It's May 6th, 2023. This is a historic day somewhere in the other end of the world, the United Kingdom. King Charles III was crowned. We saw the coronation of the former Prince of Wales, and also somewhere in Nigeria, we are 23 days away from our own inauguration of President Bola Tinubu. So many things are going on from all over the world, and we want to have a conversation around these topics. And already we have some of our friends here. We welcome them to the show. Dr. Dominic, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Jude, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and good morning, all our listeners around the world.
Mama Echo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
So for those watching at home, if you want to join us, there's a link out there. You can click on the link and you can join us. Today we have several topics. One of them is, of course, what happened today. You have King Charles III. At the age of 74, he became the King of England. He's been waiting for it for 70-something years. And it's quite interesting. We know the long history of the United Kingdom and Nigeria and the rest of Africa. So we're going to talk about what that means for Africa, whether something will change, especially with King Charles and the tradition and relationships with Africa. We also have Bola Tinubu coming in as president in 23 days. What does that mean? We talk about the story that broke this week, I believe, early this week, about his son and the house he bought in London for $11 million. We are also going to talk about P2B and the state of the case in court, with P2B granting an interview to the press. And during the interview, he acknowledged that he made a call to David Oyedepo. So we want to talk about that and know what you think, because a lot of people did not believe when the media was reporting that actually he made that call. All right. So, and of course, the fight for who will be the Senate president in Nigeria. Oji Zokalo was out there campaigning, and several other people, but it appears as if the president-elect and the people behind him are zeroing in on Akpabio, Godswill Akpabio, the former governor of Akwa Ibom, is it? Yeah, Akwa Ibom State, and former senator, former minister. So we're going to talk about that. What does that mean for the political class and for all of us, really? So let me start by thanking everybody who has joined us and those who are going to join us. And let's hear from Dr. Dominic. Dominic, how are you doing?
I'm good. Good morning, everyone. Rudolph, do you want to set some ground rules before we start?
Look, the moderators didn't meet with me so that we can finalize on this rule.
Basic rules for discussion, and then we'll go ahead.
Oh yeah. First thing is the goal is on the general point. I want everybody to know that when you are called to speak, make it everything you have to say, put it within 2 minutes. That would really help us. And of course, be respectful to people if you want to address people. Those basic things. It's not far away from that, and we know that. I think people sometimes lose their temper or something happens. But yeah, just 2 minutes. But first of all, I want to know if there's anything I missed out. The list of stories I mentioned.
I think you pretty much covered all the main ones, besides occasional Twitter fights, which I don't like to discuss, quite honestly. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to watch the Obi's interview, but hopefully someone can be able to enlighten us today as to what he said and anything else regarding that story. The Senate president thing, I actually am not yet.
That what?
But,
Said again, that the Senate president.
Well, no, the story about I only just heard about it this morning. I haven't had a chance to look through videos and kind of peruse the internet to learn more about it. But I believe whatever you say concerning Akpabio. Now,
Okay.
Is he the best man for the job? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's that. It's not about the best person; it's about who they agree to give the position to.
Or who or who is able to who is able to pretty much whoever can control, whoever Tinubu feels he can control. That's my
Yeah,
result.
exactly. Or do what they want. Yeah, the party wants. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Unless you have something new you can add to what we have now. Mama Echo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Is there any story that I left out that you want us to talk about?
Yeah, I think from Sahara Reporters there is another fire burn, but this time in Alaba International Market, and that really that that is that is kind of making me feel the government of the day is really really beating the drum of war because targeting a tribe and doing everything possible to burn their source of livelihood in a particular state in Nigeria. And nobody is saying nothing, no arrest, no nothing. I think they are beating a drum of war. That is what the action is saying. And I won't be surprised if it happens.
All right. On that, I'll have to. I what I read briefly was that what caused it was gas cylinders in one of the stores. So, but I don't know. We'll talk about that. I don't know what the investigation is looking like. Also, there's something that I think I probably missed out. Tinubu's visit to River State to see to commission some projects for Governor Wike. We'll get to that. Pansat, welcome to the show. It's nice to see you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Rudolph, how
Pastor.
are you today?
Thank you. Good.
Dr. Dominic, our Mama H.O., my friend and my brother in San Diego. What's your name? Progressive? And of course, Jude.
Progressive ad insurance.
Morning, my brother. It's
Let me
Jude.
let me say to you, Rudolph, I appreciate the work you've been doing. You are not just an internet journalist, right? You've been one of our pride and joy. A lot happened this last month, this last 2 weeks. So I know you're about to start your show. You're setting the ground rules. I'm begging you to give proportionality to the events. For example, I'm going to say this and I'll leave, and then you have other people come and do your show. I'm saying that proportionality in the sense that if somebody rigged an election, is accused of heroin dealing, it's sick, it's corrupt, buying homes all over the place, right? And then you have somebody else, maybe another contender, who made a phone call, alleged to have made a phone call, and he said, daddy, or what is the other thing in there? Okay, so I want you as a journalist today to begin the effort of cutting out the chaff. If you gotta give some historic background, if King Charles is being inaugurated in Britain, you have to talk about the beef in it. Nobody should be having a king today. Britain is a bloody monarchy, so they could fool everybody else. So you have to deal with the main thing, not the pomp and display. We are being colonized by Britain, and they're not Democrats. It's a bloody monarchy, and we're paying for it. So as someone who's very proud of you, and you try to run away from say, I don't want this to be an Igbo show. Let it be a truthful show, a substance show. Dr. Dominic, I'm also particularly talking to you about this because we are the cross of this thing right now, right? So that election was held. We know that Tinubu did not win that election and that he's not going to be president. I want you to understand that he's not going to be president. He did not win. So when you got all this show, all these things that happened this week, try to deal with the real stuff, truth today. So I'm watching. I'm very proud of you, but nothing is given. He's not going to be the president because he didn't win. So now what are we going to do about it? So if you make this show a show of talking about what will be said to Oyedepo in a private conversation, stupid stuff, of which one of the main things that are known is that Tinubu is a heroin big shot, and that his son purchased $11 million property. So if you're going to go back to a month ago nonsense about a phone call, then you don't understand what the situation we're in. We've got a problem.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Pansa, thank you. Let me say this before you go, if you want to go. The idea is this: I bring up the topics, and then what discussion, the direction it goes, it depends on the people who are here.
That is not true.
Yeah. So it depends.
Rudolph, I've been here, and I really hate to talk to you that way. That is not true. You are the host of this show.
I know.
Agreements in your face, even just when you laugh, the jokes that you tell determines how the show goes.
So when I say hold on, when I say let's say we start with Charles now. Someone can actually start by saying that there were people who are protesting, they were against the monarchy to stop, and people can talk about the implications. It all depends on you. Anybody that comes here and wants to take any topic on any direction, you have your say. You know,
if you're from Paya or from Ireland or something like that, but you're a Nigerian, right? Mm-hmm. So you cannot we don't have time to have people determine our show. We want to thrash it out, deal with it, and you as much as you try to run away with this is the only argument I have with you all the time. I said to you, you do have a choice of discussing what is good or what is bad. Okay, you could stay on the sidelines on what is right and what is wrong. You can stay on the sidelines. But when it comes to what is true and what is false, you cannot stay on the sidelines, right? Mm. How we talk, what situation we're in. What do you want to talk about Prince Charles, okay? The discussion about Prince Charles has to deal with Nigeria. How does what they're doing over there, they are not a democrat, they're not a democracy, all right? With all that pomp and display, it's us who's paying for it. They pick our leaders, they set our prices, right? And they're talking all that nonsense over there. We don't have time for that. We have to resolve this election. We have to resolve this election. It's about to go to the tribunal, right? So to come here and start talking about the ceremonial bull they have over there in Great Britain, or to talk about Obi's phone call and leave out the possibility that a drug kingpin, an elderly man, is propelled by a cabal to replace the cabal we have now. These old men are not the ones doing it. There's some torrent underneath, right? You were blessed with Peter Obi and Baba Ahmed Dati, who won an election. So Obi making a phone call, talking to Oyedepo, and using religious language by saying "daddy" this. Is that what we're going to talk about today? Where this man, it's practically a saint.
All right.
Do you deserve Obi to be your president? No, you don't.
Pansat,
God blessed us.
Pansat, thank you. Let's start the conversation and then see how it goes. You know, like I said, my job is to guide and moderate, and hopefully people will bring out whatever points that they feel about whatever topic we start with. So,
okay,
is that good?
I watch from the sideline, but like I said, Rudolph, please.
You can always come in. You can always come in, Pansa. You can always come in anytime you feel that you have something to say,
I'm there.
and that nobody's saying it.
I'm on the comment section. I'm on the comment section all the time. I'm here.
I know.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Bye bye.
All right, thank you, man of Prestige. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon, wherever you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you talk about what's the topic trending that you like to talk about. I think you have enumerated at least about 3 on the platform and say something about what happened in Rivers State. And in retrospective about what happened, I would have liked to talk about Tinubu visit to, because Sahara report about 3 or 4 days ago, they have a detail about what Tinubu went to went to France for, about the head issue and everything. And Dr. Dominic is here, so maybe he can educate us if you want to go back to that, about what he went there for, for tubulate. I think it's tubulation or whatever, some kind of how you insert something. Maybe there can be more information about that. But having said that, I think I'm going to concentrate about this deteriorating position of Nigeria in terms of poverty rate and everything. How Nigeria has been, degrading to, faster than any other African countries. So other African countries are accelerating and we are descending. So that's the area we talk about, because we have about 133 million poverty rate. 4.3 facing hunger strike and everything. That's a very pressing subject I would like to talk. And you're talking about new president. To me, he's not a president. He's a selected president. So whatever may be, let it be. In my own opinion, he's going to be, and he's a selected president. So that's all I want to talk about today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. BQB, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's nice to be on the show today again, Dr. Ramidis.
Yeah.
And then good evening to all the panelists on the show.
Where are you, BQB? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in outside Nigeria? I don't remember. I don't know where. Yeah, you're moving around a lot.
I was in Nigeria, but I think now I'm in Saudi Arabia now.
Okay. I like how you say I think like
Wait,
you have to look at
you're not sure where you are.
When you travel a lot, sometimes you wouldn't know where anymore. Okay. So okay, very good. Very
it's
good.
Like somebody came off the helicopter and was not sure where he was.
So BQB, is there anything that you want us to talk about that is not mentioned in what I listed out?
No, actually, we usually talk about the event that happens during the week.
Yeah.
Yes, but one thing I discovered is that if you follow the trend of this event, it will still lead to us talking about Biafra, agitation, Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa. Those, all our discussion will lead to, even if it's not listed, it will still lead to that trend. So it will be as if it's not just listed, but in reality, somebody will still bring all those issues up as part of the discussion. So maybe today we can try as much as possible to focus on the topics, Tinubu, Ekweremadus, and then swearing in preparations and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So I think I can stop now. I should say my own. I could make my points
when
now.
we start and then you can stay your own on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Ify, let me just run through everybody and make sure there is nothing I'm missing. Is there anything I'm missing that you think is very important that we need to talk about? We can't hear you, Ify. We can't hear you. All right, we skip you now. We go to Femi. Femi, is there anything that we're missing that you think we should talk about?
I think you pretty much covered everything. The only thing I just want to add to it's not so much of a topic, because sometimes it's good to at least celebrate ourselves too. Is what Victor Osimhen has done for Napoli on behalf of Nigeria. I mean, that's one thing to celebrate, in my opinion. But if anything, something that still rings true for me is I don't know how many years it is now since the kidnap of the Chibo girls. Was it? I think it was this week that we had those 2 girls that were allegedly rescued as well. I think that's still significant, but I don't know if that's worthy of a topic. To me, it is, but I don't know. Just my opinion.
All right, thank you, Femi. I think I like that, Victor. I actually was finding out who the guy was. I don't follow soccer, but I just saw this and I was. So that was new for me, but I'm learning. Okay, so let's go to let's go to who is next. Okay, okay, Tech, how are you? Can you hear me? Okay, Tech, can you hear
Okay,
me?
okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I can hear
okay,
you.
yeah, okay,
I can hear
okay.
you. I
Go
can hear
ahead.
you.
So, how are you today?
I'm okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. It's nice to see
Um,
you.
nice to see you, sir.
So, is there anything
I
that?
think you
Yeah.
basically covered every important news out there in Nigeria this week.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you and good morning. Yeah, I think you cover everything. Only Ekweremadus alone is enough for us. You understand? It's enough for us to trash. At least the vulnerable one only just have one president to make, and that's enough for me for now. Yeah.
All right. Ovie. Ovie.
I'm
Ovie, you're
muted.
muted.
Hello.
Is in Kano.
Go ahead.
Meeting Kwankwaso.
I think I'm in Buckingham Palace at the moment, so that's why.
All right.
I mean, what else? Just is there anything on the news than the president-elect waxing stronger and renewing our hope that he might be the man that we all, be waiting for? I think that to me alone is nothing else. Everything else this week is under our transparent river state. Those 2 days of his visit, so it says a lot about where we are headed. So it's becoming clearer that the hope is actually in a safe hands, about to be renewed. So positively, I think I'm happy where things are at the moment in terms of where we are going.
Okay. All right. Let's start with I'll give everybody 2 minutes to have their say on Ekweremadus. Let's start
I have
from
one
there.
more topic to add. Really.
Dominic, you have not asked me about the topics.
Dominic, is it your damages? Why are you calling me?
The damages.
Dude, we are not there when I got to you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I would have loved us to add. I don't know if any of us listened to this issue of one House of Representative in federal, I think Ado Federal Constituency in Kano, who murdered.
Oh, the one that wants to be the speaker.
Exactly, because
I don't do
I wanted us to make comparison of him and Ekweremadus, and see the kind of society called Nigeria that we live in. How in one society we can reward criminals, and in another country, even those who are trying to, they are not yet involved in the acts, but by contemplating, according to Apostle Suleiman, say contemplating, believing. They were still contemplating, believing. That's Ekweremadus, and now he's going in. Him and the wife is going in for many years, some years in jail for attempting to carry out a situation that has not been finally finalized. Whereas someone who had already murdered, carried the dead bodies, stuck them in a house, and raised down the house, and that person is going to be rewarded. Jesus Christ, Nigeria. I don't know. Please, maybe can we discuss on that?
All right.
Those are some of those things that is cracking my brain. You were
Okay.
asking me what am I troubling?
Okay. Thank you. All right.
I'm
Let's.
with you on this.
I have one more story. Is
Okay.
my audio keeps breaking?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is something I only just realized this morning, but this is with respect to what was happening in Sudan and the lack of respect, a lack of respect accorded to us by Egypt and Ethiopia. And I was just looking into how strong the Nigerian passport is. I think this is important for us to discuss. So, in the world, Japan has the strongest passport. You have visa-free access to 193 countries. Then even the US is sixth in terms of accessibility. You have access to 186 countries. Canada, the same, 186 countries. The best in Africa is Seychelles with 154 visa-free access. Yeah, actually, you have visa-free access to 154 countries. Nigeria, you have visa-free access to 45 countries.
45.
Places like Kenya and Ethiopia are much better than us. So the giant of Africa and South Africa and Seychelles, a small island, have over have access to over 100 countries without visa. And Nigeria,
Only
the giant of Africa, only has access to 45.
45.
And even some of the ECOWAS countries, you may even have issues getting into it. Try to get from Nigeria through Benin to Ghana, and you see the Wahala. This
Oh.
is the nation that we're trying to build. And Buhari is telling us that he has achieved all he planned for us. All right, Rudolph, go ahead.
He achieved it now. Didn't you see? He carry our money go Niger. He build railway there. He don't build refinery there. So he achieve everything when he make up in mind to achieve for himself, not for us.
Thank you,
Right, let's
Dr. Dominic, for that topic. I was watching that too. Thank you. I was going to say something about that, but I'm glad you said it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll add to that. It will help now if we start and if we stick to the arrangement, which is 2 minutes for everybody. We'll come to you, and we rotate people. There are people already in the studio in the back end in that one. They will also get a chance to talk. So when you speak, I take you out and bring in new people. All right. So let me start with you, Dominic. The first topic is 10 years, 9 years exactly for Ekweremadus, Senator Ekweremadus.
I think a couple of Nigerians, myself included, when we feel like we can't get things right in the country, there is some level of gladness that we get when this sort of punishment gets meted out to politicians like grandmother. I remember, I don't know if it was a year or 2 years ago when I watched him greeted by IPOB members in Germany. We all know how that went when he decided that instead of doing a New Yam New Yam festival in Igbo land, he would try to do it in Germany. And he received there was some altercation, and he received some beating. Honestly, I don't support violence, and I was a little bit on the sidelines in terms of whether that should have happened. But things like this, where the law takes course and he's punished officially, I have no issues with that. I think he deserved the punishment that he's getting. I'm sad that his daughter is sick and still has not been able to get a kidney. But the one thing that stood out for me is this is a precedent in terms of judging such cases. What I heard is that he received the harshest punishment with respect to the kind of crime he committed. So I don't know whether they're trying to set an example with him. I've heard that as well online. They're using this case to set an example to dissuade people from showing up to the UK and doing anything that has to do with organ harvesting. Now, whether or not it is fair to him to have been the one to be the scapegoat is a different story. But he deserves some sentence, and he got some sentence. The second thing is, I am glad that his wife is not going to serve the same sentence as him, because someone has to be there for the daughter, So I think she got 6 years, and then, but she's only going to serve, I think, I believe 4 years. I think everyone there has to serve. Her, Ekweremadus, and the doctor, which is quite shameful, have to serve at least 2/3 of their sentence before they can be able to be eligible for parole. So I don't know what kind of social support the daughter has. I hope there's someone there who can be able to provide some moral support. It is sad that the family is going through such distress, but it goes to say that if you can't get the healthcare system working in your country, you don't deserve to go somewhere else and have that comfort. You do not deserve it at all. And so this is a cumulative punishment for all the things that he should have done in Nigeria, all the things that he should have done for his senatorial district, all the things that he should have done with his political plot, and he never did. He's receiving the punishment. So if you don't receive the punishment here on earth, I don't know where else you're going to receive the punishment. So I think at this point we all deserve some level of gloating. Sad to say, but I don't feel sorry for him at all.
All right, thank you, Mama Echo.
Ducky, you know time am on. He spend 4 minutes. You know time. Make I just dey remind you now because when he reach me, you go
So
start.
funny.
Yeah, you're right.
You can skip me for the next topic. Let's maintain the 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, the point is that because he's a moderator, I wasn't thinking about timing him. I was thinking that he's timing himself, but I have you timed.
Now Joro be that side.
Oh, I wasn't timing. I was waiting. No, next time ring the bell.
All right.
No favoritism. Next time ring the bell.
I think I'm
So
happy.
Mama, so make yourself time yourself. Oh.
I go do
Time
4
yourself
minutes.
too.
4 minutes. We don't start the roll now. 4 minutes. Everyone go do.
2 minutes is gone now, Mama Echo, since you I called your name.
No, now 1 minute to go. Now all of us take our talk, so not be my time be that. Time start now. Okay. On a serious note, you see, I'm happy. In fact, I won't go drink red wine for this judgment today. Because if all of them put that their head together, we're not supposed to they do medical tourism or overseas. So it's a shame, a very big shame. We have the best doctor in the world, and then they treat our doctor yabbish at home. And some of them, those treatment they are getting abroad, now still Nigerian doctor, they treat them. So he deserves it. His daughter, I don't pity her at all. You know, they say what if Papa they do no good. In their family, they don't get family, wife side, husband side, no family fit donate to them. Now that poor boy when they pick for street, they deserve. And if he die in the process, what happened? What happened? Because it is obvious that some Nigeria are more than one Nigeria, and some are supposed to be sacrificial lamb. My children will not continue to be sacrificial lamb from this greedy, wicked politician. And the game has just started. We don't realize ourselves. We will never be a sacrificial lamb anymore, except those who deliberately choose to become sacrificial lamb to this politician. So, UK, the thing we will not fit do for Nigeria, una don't help us do it. Thank you, and God bless the judge when he do this judgment. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mama Echo. Jude, 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Honestly, one thing I really hope, I know it's not going to happen, but I would have wished that judge that adjudicated on that does that sentencing yesterday, because there's no right-minded human being who listened to that judge from beginning to the end that would not say indeed Ekweremadus and the family and the wife deserve every bit of punishment. In fact, that judge was even very lenient, if you ask me. He considered the plea that came from Nigerian senator, House of Representative, former president, the Archbishop of Enugu, and who again? About five of them. He considered their plea. That was why he reduced it. Ekweremadus was supposed to be 10.5 years. Then he lowered it down by 9.5, and then they're going to credit him the one he has already served, and then he will do two of three. And the wife same. It's only the doctor that didn't get away with anything. He has to serve his full term. Now, yeah, what I was saying, I wish they can, if there's any way we can import that judge to come and adjudicate on our current case going on with drug dealer Tinubu, to come and advocate on that case. You see, for Ekweremadus, with all that has been happening, these politicians have stood for in Nigeria. I don't have any sympathy for him, neither do I have for his family. People will say, take his children or his family out of it. No, because who are the beneficiaries of what these politicians have deprived the children of other Nigerians from. Who are the beneficiaries? Is it not their children? Where the Tinubu son got 11 point something million to buy a house in this thing. Is he working? What company does he have? Is it not from what his father has stolen from Lagos? Where did the daughter got money to buy about $5 million worth of property in New York, in US? Is it not from what their father have stolen? They are the beneficiaries. So if any punishment, if I am the president of Nigeria today, all of them and their entire families and their generation are going to chase them to the rabbit or wherever they are to punish them for what they have done to Nigerians.
All right, thank you, Jude. Let's go to man of prestige. Man of prestige, it's chance.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I have a lot to say, but we only have 2 minutes, so I'm going to condense my narrative. From the research I did in reference to what Dominic said, this is a law that was implemented in I think about a decade or right now. So they are trying to set a precedent for what happened, so there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people may say, particularly the Nigerians who are so baptized, that's the problem with Nigeria. When something good happened, somebody who received justice, it's not like Nigeria, where there's a selective justice, for the big or forever politics or tribe or that kind of thing. But this is the right thing. They deserve it. I mean, I pity the family. I think if I'm in that position, let's say my daughter is in that, condition. Yeah, we find a way to, but I'm not going to go something illegal. I mean, this guy is a renowned lawyer, so he knows better. He committed what I call, something illegal. So he deserves every punishment that, he's supposed to have obtained. I think he received like about 9 years, so he's going to serve like about 3/4 of that, which is going to be about maybe about 6 point something years. The wife 6 years, I think the doctor 10 years. So yeah, they deserve everything they get. Hopefully the daughter will get something, we get his head back. But anyway, he deserves whatever the punishment that he get. I mean, depending when it comes to Nigeria, politicians, the Speaker of the House, Badamila, was kind of pleading to the US government. I mean, pleading to the British government. You can do that in USA. Imagine a Speaker of the House in USA pleading for them to forgive somebody who commits something illegal. Let's assume it was British and Nigeria. They won't do that because look at what he did because of the child that was involved. Or I don't know if it's a child or 21 right now. You can't do that in USA. If you do something wrong, you do something wrong. So I don't understand some Nigerians, because I've been in some other forum, they are complaining, it was mercy. They should have mercy. Have mercy on what? You commit a crime, you need to pay for it. British don't care for you. I mean, they don't care about you. That's what you should understand. They just enslave you, that's what they do. No kind of plea, they use you as an example. After all, Nigeria doesn't even have any kind of power in the world. Like I said, most African countries are regarded higher than we. So you should know that. Thank you.
Thank you. BQB, you're next. BQB, you're next.
BQB, wake up. Look.
Hello, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're next. Go ahead.
Hello, Dr.
Yeah,
Damages.
Yeah, you're on.
Hello.
Yeah, we're waiting for you. You're on.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yes, on Ekweremadus, I want to look at it from two perspectives. I'm looking at the daughter case now, particularly she needs a life-changing medical intervention, and the parents are trying as much as possible to sort it out. First of all, I'm looking at it that this case could be done in Nigeria. He has all the resources that he can use to do it in Nigeria. So if he has done it in Nigeria, I'm sure all this kind of life-changing, what people call Ishaye, will not happen to the big man. So because we have some quite number of very standard hospital, at least the vice president of Nigeria did an orthopedic surgery in an hospital in Ikeja. I think the Duchess Hospital. So what class center that the person of Deputy Senate President should have all the resources to get, if not the kind of care that he's expecting to get, he can get it here. So, and the bureaucracy and the law of getting a donor, I think it's a little bit more easier when you consider Nigeria. Especially so in recent times, somebody like Idris Abdulkarim is not as financially strong like Ekweremadus. So I think it could have still be done in Nigeria rather than going to the UK. Then the second leg, which Dr. Dami just allowed me to add to it, is travails now. I think the government is a member of our parliament. The parliament and the government should have been able to at least step in. I'm sure a member of parliament in the US or the UK going through the similar situation in other countries, they will at least step in to stand in for him in such a way. I think it is done. We are just trying to look at it from that. No, I'm trying to still go through several stories of seeing a member of parliament, a very top government official of another country, being convicted. There is this diplomatic issue that they use, the country can still explore to help the man to get a soft landing, which regrettably it was not done. So then again, the last yes,
there were back channels. There were back channel talks and credibility and a lot. I believe some Nigerian parliamentary folks sent in letters on his behalf. If you listen to what they got, that.
Yes, I know some of the. I think some of the letters that were circulating is that even Obasanjo wrote a letter. I mean the government has a way of good standing that the government should stand in for him. It's going to be a diplomatic stuff that they would find a way to get him a soft landing, rather even as simple as even pleading guilty in the first instance, rather than defending himself. Because one of the analysts I was listening to, one of these lawyer in UK too, was analyzing it on the platform that if he had pleaded guilty, they would have given him maybe 2 years or less than that, and even an option of fine, rather than trying to defend himself. That's just on one part. The other part is I'm emphasizing that the government can negotiate on behalf of their country, still a member of our parliament, and the kidney transplant has not been done. The boy is still alive, so the form of soft landing can still be done for him. I think that's just my view on it. So we can have somebody else can have contrary views. So I think that's just what I feel. So if it were to happen in any Western country, the members of parliament, they will not leave them to face those kind of issues. It will still be, the country will still do something for him. But if he's an American citizen somewhere else, I'm sure they will have gone there to do something. You might just, I'm seeing some body language trying to disagree with me, but you might not be privy to some of those high-level case of government officials in US, UK involved in all those cases. You will not know, because most Nigerians abroad they are not in that top level government level to know the politics that go on there. So you just go to 9 to 5 jobs and come back and go online and talk, and you are not on that level. So you will not really know. You will not really know the politics that goes on in that high level. I think that's just the point I'm trying to make. Thank you very much, Dr. Midis.
Thank you, Biku. Femi, you're next.
So straight away, while it's true that all countries will their influences in situations like this, and even on related things that have nothing to do with what Ekweremadus found himself in, the facts cannot be further from it. Can be further, we cannot hide the fact that Nigeria doesn't lack respect even in Africa. So that's one. And then under it's called the Modern Slavery Act of 2015. Um, it was always going to be difficult. Again, especially when you consider the fact that in the Committee of Nations, even within West Africa, I'm not even sure anybody respects us. So I just wanted to even reiterate that fact. And maybe on a final note, I just feel it's a case study for um, getting us our hearts together when it comes to the health sector and even the rule of law. I have had people talk about racism, and I'm like, it's rather disingenuous when you place reality side by side with sentiment, and you choose to go for sentiment. I mean, sometimes even the way we treat ourselves among the black race, the ethnic issues that we have, sometimes it can be even more traumatizing, even worse than the so-called racism. And I don't even see what the racism is here. It's a case of the reality. I mean, imagine if it was just a regular Nigerian that committed it. Nobody would say anything now. The only person that perhaps I'm just because you can't do without having some milk of human feeling, I just feel sorry for your daughter because I mean, at the end of the day, a life is involved. I'll just keep it that way.
All right. Thank you, Femi. Paul, you're next.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just quickly start from where Femi stopped. Say, feel for the daughter. I don't feel for the daughter because these people who don't go to the same school, even though when we go to the same church, we sit in a different seat. They don't do anything. They get married to themselves. They do everything by themselves. But when they need kidney, they will also understand that it's very, very important to another rich man's kids. So no rich man kids will give that. So it's only a poor man child that they can take advantage of, not like he's willing to even do it. They take advantage of him. So I don't feel for the kids because they are the direct beneficiary of everything that their father loses. The way we love our kids, it's called on merit favor. You can't even quantify how you love your kids. They don't do anything special to deserve the love you get to give them. It's on merit. It just comes special. Look at Tinubu Sons, and we've seen rich kids. We've seen all the benefit and everything. Look at the nonsense Fani Kayode is doing. Is it not the benefit of his own father? Let's tell ourselves the truth. So why do I want to feel for him? And what happened to Ekweremadus? I like it. Then a BQB that talk about diplomatic channel. No diplomatic channel. Sometimes when we talk about the West, the way the US do and everything, what would the US do if it happened to say Ekweremadus is a US citizen? Probably they do prisoner swap. Is there any British person in Nigeria that is a prison? The answer is no. You understand? So what do you want to negotiate, give and take? The answer is no. You understand? So Ekweremadus, make nonsense of yourself. So what do you want to negotiate in terms of you want to use diplomatic channel when there's no British person? They don't do anything. And even if they commit anything, they will probably arrange themselves and everything. And the way we accept defeat before the battle starts. That's the type of people we are in Nigeria. A Lebanese will treat us like trash. A Filipinos will treat us like trash in Nigeria. Filipino who happen to be the cheapest labor in the whole world, they treat us like trash in Nigeria. So what do you expect from diplomatic channel? Nothing. And this type of precedent, it is good for the vulnerable, the ordinary man. So I'm happy for what happened to him. Let the daughter live. Mr. Scribe came to the UK when he was a very young boy. He take care of himself. So the daughter too can also figure it out. Some of us, we came here when we were very young and we figure it out. She's going to figure it out too. Thank you, doctor.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Ovie. Okay, Ovie is not here. Austin, you're next.
Thank you, Thank you, doctor. Thank you, beloved panelists. Personally, I wouldn't want to say anything about Ekweremadus feeling whether to support him or not to support him, but I'm concerned about my nation, Nigeria, and I'm crying that our slave masters have increased our problem again. How? These have been going on, but now they've knocked it down. I wonder what will happen in the street of Nigeria. I listened to an interview Charlie Boy granted yesterday. He gave us what leadership is all about. He detailed us how he has been sick for the past 3 years, how he was told in UK, in London, what he was suffering. But another doctor told him, guy, I come to Nigeria, I can do this. It's okay, I'll wait for you in Nigeria. Because he hadn't that money. You know, it's a classic thing that Ekweremadus went to do. He would have comfortably do this in St. Nicholas, Lagos, so many other hospitals in Lagos, but I mean, his status, and I am sure that insurance did not participate. Imagine how much he paid. How did he get that money? Our money. And people are talking about US and London would have intervened. You take a senator would take the US money to go to Saudi Arabia and pay for that surgery. I mean, let us stop comparing mangoes and Odara. Let's see how the case is. This is a belittling to my country. So I'm scared that what they will now start doing is they will do the surgery and use private jet and transfer the person the next day to UK. So just look at, just somebody should follow the number of surgeries or kidney transplant that will go on in Nigeria from now going on, because the slave master have said, Big Brother is watching. Now they'll come back home and do it the same way instead of fixing Nigeria. Believe you me, the money he spent on this surgery would build a comfortable clinic in Enugu. But what's the problem here? But my problem with this, with our slave masters, how did this thing happen that nobody from UK was implicated? Everything from start to the end, every investigation was about the Nigerians. I mean, that's something we should also learn. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Austin. Ify, you're next.
Can you hear me? Okay, hi. Good morning, everybody. I'm not gonna throw shade at BQB or whatever his name is, because this is too childish. I'm not gonna stoop down to his level. But let me say something. It was on this show sometime about 2 months ago that I talked about my friend who was on dialysis. I'm using was because she passed on Monday. Okay, it was on the show. Why? Because the government failed her in terms of healthcare. They do dialysis in Nigeria 3 times a week. So why did Ekweremadus not bring her daughter back to Nigeria to do the dialysis 3 times a week? They do transplants in Nigeria at the Zenith and Caroline Hospital in Abuja, and they do it very well. Why did he not bring his daughter back to Nigeria to do that surgery, transplant? What is BQB even actually talking about? It's just like I have 2 senators here in Georgia, Senator John Oswald and also Raphael Warnock. He's just telling me that 2 of them can take their kids outside the country, another country, to go get a dialysis or kidney transplant. And you have the gut to come here in a public space to defend it. These are the people we have in Nigeria as a Nigerian, just because we are talking politics. Because Ekweremadus has the assets, because he has the money. Not everybody is privileged to have the same opportunity his daughter has. My friend, she doesn't have that opportunity. But we rallied around to raise money. But still, the government failed her. The healthcare system in Nigeria failed her. And you want me to sit down here because Ekweremadus is a politician and defend him? No, I'm not going to defend him. No, I'm not going to defend his daughter. His daughter can come back to Nigeria and get the transplant. Trust me, there'll be a lot of people willing to, donate the kidney for her.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ify. Sure.
Good evening, Rudolph, and good evening, everyone. Ify, sorry about your loss. Please accept my condolences. Onto the Ekweremadus sentencing, I have no sympathy for him. He got what he deserved. I wish he got more, because there is part of the people responsible for where Nigeria is today. It's not solely down to him, but it's part of the political class. And I saw something from Reno Mokri yesterday or 2 days ago saying that Buhari should use his opportunity when he has a private meeting with the King, King Charles, to plead for Ekweremadus. He started trying to play down the whole issue. And, he quickly put a caveat to say he's not saying what Ekweremadus did was right, so that people won't come for him. And I just thought to myself, see, if Hitler came back to life, if King Leopold came back to life, there will be people that would tell you, hear me out. They weren't so bad. This is why they did what they did. There will be people that would defend them. regardless of how bad they were or they are, some
Yeah,
people will find justification. Pardon?
The word sycophants exists in the dictionary.
Yes, exactly. Sycophants, sycophants, you would find people that will rally around them and they would defend it and try to justify it. For me personally, Ekweremadus got what he deserved. I hope he learns a lesson, but you know what? Sadly, he's not going to learn. He's going to finish his jail time, go back to Nigeria, run for another office, and he will win. I mean, we have criminals running the country. The one in Kano that said because he has 4 wives and 20-something children, he's experienced enough to be the number 4 citizen in the country. Somebody that is not under Nigerian law. It's not even to be granted bail. You've been alleged to kill 14 people this last election, and you said you won election back to the House of Rep, and you want to be the speaker. And people are beginning to whitewash his image. I sent Rudolph some articles or some materials the other day. People are beginning to whitewash his image that he speaks on behalf of women. He's fighting for women right. Somebody that anyway, yeah, Ekweremadus got what he deserved. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you. Let me go to Mr. Scribe.
Hello, Rudolph. Hello, everyone. I have nothing to say about the Ekweremadus case. I look at it from a different perspective, in the sense like, I think this is an opportunity for us to start looking at legislation as it pertains to organ donation. I believe it's in Canada that when you die, automatically your organs get harvested or something. There's some legislation like that. You have to opt in. You have to fill a form and send it in. So that way, when you die, when you are being prepped, they don't take out your organs. So, and they do it for a reason, because people would lack organs and need to, be resuscitated with those organs. So I don't know how, those in charge of legislation in Nigeria, how, if they can look into this and see. But I mean, this is a far cry. We don't even have good medical infrastructure to keep people alive, let alone thinking about an advanced way of preserving these organs. That's all I have to say. I think everybody else they've all said,
All
their
right,
own.
thank you. Thank you. Let's go to KJ. Okechi, is that Okechi that turned to KJ? I'm confused. Go ahead. Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, I had to change my handset. So
Okay.
this one calls me KJ. This is my laptop, really. Okay. I want to and I've heard so many of almost everybody's contribution, but nobody has talked about the poor young guy who, for lack of resources, money to survive, decided to opt into this. And I heard somebody say that Ekweremadus must have paid so much money. How much did he pay? I'm looking at the figure. An independent journalist carried out an investigation and found out that he was supposed to be paid 270,000 naira. But Ekweremadus himself paid 4.7 million to his brother, his nephew, who was supposed to carry out this, who was the doctor in the whole saga. Okay, he now cut down to pay this young man for his kidney 270,000 naira. My brothers, that is the kind of people we are dealing with. Okay, despite the fact that even the 4 point something million which are paying is not enough, your so-called doctor's brother reduced it to 270,000. Now, why are we talking about this? When you go to England and it wasn't working because you people didn't give him enough information, and the doctors failed to go along with the surgery, not because the Nigerians say, oh, the kidney didn't match. No, it was because they didn't give him enough information. So that's what they call mismatch. It's not because it wasn't the same thing. Okay. Now they decide not to go along with it. You, as a Ekweremadus, if you are honorable as you claim to be, you pay the guy off. Say, okay, oh boy, this is no work. Oh yeah, here's what I promise you. Okay? But for lack of a shoes, like the Englishman will say, the war is lost. You are going to serve 10 years for just peanuts they've been stealing from Nigeria for the past 26 years. Okay, you could have just paid this guy peanuts and taken yourself out of the nonsense, but you didn't. Okay, you paid him so little, and then when he had the opportunity, of course, you are living in the US, you know, I mean, outside the country, you know what anybody can do with a good lawyer. You prompt his person up. Okay, and that's what has happened here. I have no pity for him. Rather, I pity the young man and several other Nigerians who are going through these things day and night, day and night. Their organs are being harvested. In fact, sorry to bring in, somebody said we shouldn't talk about IPOB. We'll have to go there. What was the major issue that the police guy who was caught in Onitsha doing? He was harvesting young men's organs and selling to the Chinese. This is a well-known fact in Igbo land. Okay, so we should look at the poor masses that have nobody to speak for them, rather than looking at the big man syndrome, which is talking about Ekweremadus and why he's going. What's so special about him going to jail? Didn't they prosecute Trump the other day? Did anybody speak on behalf of Trump not to go to face the court? No. So what's so special about him? He's just like any other person. So let's remove our mind from this big man syndrome and get into the reality of what's happening to our people. Thank you.
What you talked about happened in on iPod. I don't you don't have to censor yourself in that regard. Igbo doesn't seem. I don't know. People always link.
What I was trying to emphasize that people's organs are being harvested on daily basis in Nigeria for nothing by the authorities and by individuals who are stronger than you. It has become dog eat dog. If I can beat you, I'll take whatever I need. That's what's going on. That's why I brought it here. I'm not talking about it relating to Ekweremadus or not. I'm saying these things are going on in our society as we're talking about it now.
All right. Thank you.
Let me quickly
Mama Rachel, hold on. There's someone who turned on. We're getting echo from someone. I don't know who that is. But I want to hear from Nri Isibo first before we go back to people who have said something before. Go ahead, Nri.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Damages. You know, this Ekweremadus issue, you know, it's when you're in the medical field and you see what people suffer to get a kidney, and the whole case, you begin to appreciate what happened there. You know, it's a sad story, and just that case encapsulates the issue of Nigeria. So you have a highly placed rich man and a politician going to victimize a poor man, and instead of going to like a different hospital or even doing it in Nigeria, he chose to go to where he feels the case can be done right without having to deal with the Indian issue or Nigerian issue and stuff. And then when that didn't work out, he started maltreating the guy, and so it encapsulates everything that goes on in Nigeria, and it's really sad, you know. I don't want to wish him well. I wish him bad because you know they're suffering and stuff, but it's such a big tragedy all around, and this is what people go through every day in that country. You know, it's just tragedy upon tragedy. He shouldn't, like the last person said, he should face his what is coming to him, and I don't think he should get any kind of pardon. You know, and it just hopefully this will begin to show people, especially the political class, that I mean, if COVID didn't show them, I don't know how this will, but that something just needs to change in that country, and and it needs to start changing fast, especially with this new government coming in, which I don't think will happen. But you know, it's just a sad situation.
All right, thank you so much. Let's just hear from three more people. Kind of a follow up. I will mention Mama Echo, BQB, because you were mentioned, I think, in Ife's response, and maybe then we change the topic. Go ahead, Mama Echo.
I want to start by saying, accept my condolence, Ife. I know it's painful, but what should give you joy is the fact that you and other people rally around her, and you never turn your back on her when she needed the help most. And I pray that the good Lord will comfort every one of you. Accept our condolence, my dear sister. 270,000 divided by 730. What was given to this young man is $369.86. How sad. This is the impunity we are talking about. And BQ, you come here and tell us that this fellow who did this deserve what? Political withy. If this is you, BQ, if this is you that was picked up on the street of Nigeria, deprived of your family, deprived of everything because of poverty and lack, and they want to give you $369.86 to come and donate your kidney. And whatever happened in the process, you die, your family will not even be considered. And befitting burial will not even be given to you. How will you feel? Because sometimes we come here, we justify this impunity. We don't even care and put ourselves in the shoes of those who have done it. Let us, for once, Nigeria, the only way forward is for us to stand against every impunity, wickedness, and evil that drag us to this point. As long as we are still going to be dancing in between, we will not have a headway. It is a shame when they were talking about passport, a whole giant of Africa, we have become the footmat of Africa. Shame. It is time we wake up and repair that country. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna step in for like 15 seconds before BQB responds because I don't want this to deteriorate into personal attacks. BQB made his comment. I think what would help us is a clarification on if what he means is Ekweremadus being given some consideration because he's an active member of a sovereign country's parliament versus if he was just a regular Nigerian individual, if he deserves to have some level of negotiations, diplomatic negotiations with the Nigerian government. No personal attacks, please.
The damage is, please, 30 seconds.
Okay.
You let the BGB respond. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just 30. I wanted to say, you see, there's something that is kind of a fallout from this whole thing. The brother, like we learned already, that's the doctor that's not saying had a kidney surgery, right? Now, my question is, because the brother had gone through the process, and he knows it, that was why perhaps he hijacked it from Ekweremadus and said, don't worry, I have done this, I'm going to fix it. I know how to go, I know how to do it. Who now knew how the brother got his own kidney? Who now knew whether a poor Nigerian boy or girl have died, not compensated or something? They should investigate that.
All right, thank you, Jude.
Can I say something real quick? The judgment captured that. The judge said because he has gone through that process and escaped, that was why his punishment was even harsher because nobody knows. And he said he didn't want to dive into that case. But the mere fact that he has come to England and done a transplant before gave him that impetus to come back to do the second one. That's why he got a harsher sentence.
Exactly.
All the judgment throughout.
If we were living in an ideal country, Nigeria is supposed to carry out that investigation now and begin to ask questions.
All right, thank you.
Doctor, real quick, I'm sorry, just to add, there's also this news out there that he actually runs in the girl's Ekweremadus family. So apparently there's a lot of this. I don't know, it looks like this is actually interesting in a way.
What do you mean by that, Femi?
Sorry, let me clarify that. That information came from Ekweremadus' daughter herself.
Yeah.
She said
Yeah,
it
yeah.
runs in their family, and that's why she could not get from members of her family because they said it will not be profitable for her to get from somebody related to her because it runs in her family. And so they went to look for a trader in the street of Lagos who was selling, a petty trader on the streets, okay, and was not giving a full information of what it takes to donate. Thank you. Let me not take more time.
Can I say something before BQB?
Okay.
One second.
Yeah.
When you're talking, I don't think people actually understand the process of going through kidney donation. You have to go through counseling and counseling and counseling, especially when you don't know the person. It's not easy for you just to get somebody that is going to give you a kidney and just take to the after effect of it. That's where the problem is. I'm sure, I don't know this guy, but I'm sure this guy was not explained of the process. And secondly, hearing that the boy is not a match upon getting to London, what kind of nonsense is that? So the guy was not even matched in Nigeria before bringing him over to London. What are we even talking about? So this boy could have been just life wasted, just like that. Had it been that he didn't decide to say what he said, to get himself out of this mess. We are talking about this. Ekweremadus is still making 14 million naira every month as a senator in Nigeria, currently in jail. Please tell me, in a country that is working, somebody should have taken his seat by now. And he's still a senator. And we are coming here to justify this because the child is poor, because he doesn't have a support system. If this guy lives in a country, had he been Nigeria is a country that works. Are you going to tell me that this guy is going to leave Nigeria to go to this thing? Don't quote me wrong. There are a lot of people that are willing to give the kidney. I don't have no problem with that. But this is called exploitation. You're trying to exploit this child because he's from a poor family. He saw the advantage of going to, get a better life. You don't know what else this guy was promised. Now he's asking the judge, for them to keep him in UK. Yes, I agree. They have to give him asylum to protect him. Because if this guy comes back to Nigeria, one thing or the other might happen to that child. Let us get some sense. It's not easy to just carry somebody and say, oh, give me your kidney. But that is exactly what they wanted to do to this child.
If he is sorry about Ekweremadus make about 30 million every month.
Oh,
Senators
30 million.
About 30 million every month. All their total package.
Okay.
Okay. Allow BQB to talk now. BQB, go ahead.
Unmute yourself, BQB.
Am I on? Yes. Okay. I want to start by sympathizing with Madam Ifi because I probably thought maybe you are highly triggered. You started your first statement by attacking me. We are having a general discussion about it. So I don't understand why you starting your statement by attacking me is a very civil way to respond on a public platform. I didn't start my presentation by claiming to be on your level. You are very senior. You are top. I'm not in your level. I'm on the bottom level. So that is just by the way. I'm not competing level with you. Mr. Dr. Dominic, there's a particular gene that runs in the family that predisposes them to, it's called a focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. So that predisposes, that predisposes the members of the family to having similar condition and kidney problems. So it is logical and clinically advised that any member of their family will not donate the kidney. They will have to look for donors that is not their family member. So that is just a background of what I'm saying. I make my submissions on two grounds of parents being at the mercy of seeing their kids going to any length to going to any extent to help their children. Then I also make a submission that this is Dr. Dami, this program is have your say now. And why would I have my say? And somebody will personally attack me for having my say. So many other people responded, but she specifically, and of course, Mama Echo, I'm not surprised, jumped into it and started attacking as if I mentioned here that they should set free Ekweremadus. I never did I mention they set free Ekweremadus. I don't understand. And people here would say they are living in UK,
You,
they are
I
living in
didn't
America.
attack you. I
They,
attack what you said. So
I'm
there are
not,
two different things.
Madanitu. I'm just having a general discussion about. We are just having a general discussion about it. I started from the
We
parenthood
have
side,
a right
which
to
I said
dispute against what you said, not your person. What you said.
is not what Madam Ife did not. He was attacking my personality. He was saying that he can't stop too low, which I don't know when I started to say I'm competing with you or
Can
I'm
I
on your level
clarify
or
you? You
something.
said people
There's
working
there's
9 to 5 and people who are moving
there's
their
nothing.
body with
Wait,
their body languages.
no, wait.
That is so
I'm not talking to you.
disrespectful. Don't
Wait,
come here and make me look as if I don't know what I'm talking about or what
just
you said.
wait. Let me
Don't even
finish
go
my
there,
points
Oga.
now.
Calm down.
Let me finish my points, Mr. Ife. You are triggered, I know, because of the loss of your family member. I'm sorry for that, and I said to you already, I sympathize with you. I'm very sorry. But this Ekweremadus point, I'm just trying to analyze to you. That is what happens at the top level in any country. I'm just trying to analyze here, which some of us too know. It's not that I'm making a point that Ekweremadus has done something wrong, and he shouldn't pay for it. He has already been convicted already and jailed. So that doesn't rule out the fact that me coming on this platform, putting out this point, is saying that I'm exonerating him and telling him that he shouldn't be punished. Then again, I'm not justifying that the guy did it in UK. In fact, I'm even saying that it can be done in Nigeria, that the guy should have done it in Nigeria. And I even cited the example of our vice president. He's not as influential as our vice president. I did his own surgery, knee replacement surgery. It can be done. It's done in Nigeria. So that's my point. You should understand my point constructively and dissect it. Don't just, because of the perspective of election, don't just bring that to every discussion and try to attack the genuineness of the conversation and the point. So
BQB,
that's just,
I'm actually confused, still confused by your
yeah.
I'm not sure. I think I'm trying to understand.
What are you confused about? Tell me what
What I'm confused
is
about
what
is the question I asked you earlier. When you are talking
that
about Ekweremadus, what are you suggesting? Reduction of sentence, or what exactly do you want? Would you have wanted for Ekweremadus, and for what reasons? What would be the motivation for that? Is it because
no. If you do anything wrong, if you do something wrong, you should face the consequence of your action. That
okay?
is simple. That is basic law. But I'm telling you that in this country we live in, we are not equal. Unless if you want to believe that what I'm saying is we are not
Which
always
country,
equal.
please?
I don't know if you feel that you are equal to all those top-ranking government officials in the country you live in, then you must be deceiving yourself. You
It's
are
fine.
not in that
I
circle.
think we can
That's
move
the
on.
point I'm making. You are not in that circle. And you might think you are there. You are not there. What goes around, you might not know what is going on in those top levels. So you only know what you know by the virtue of the news and stuff you read. And that happens in every country, even in Nigeria. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Ekweremadus has done something wrong. He has faced the judicial process. He was convicted. We thank God for them. But I'm trying to say some of the other points around it, vis-a-vis my mentioning of the diplomatic issue. So well, I think what I said should not make somebody quickly now come for me to start to attack me, or the guy has been sentenced. So what else does anybody want me to say? I think that's just the point I'm trying to make. In fact, I'm an advocate of doing it in Nigeria, especially most of those procedures. I'm opportune to have witnessed a kidney transplant. It took us 24 hours to do. So I wish it could be done. And the person is still very much alive. He's a practicing medical doctor, licensed in UK, working in UK now. He did a kidney transplant in Nigeria. So it can be done. So that is the point I'm trying to make. I'm not interested in the politics of being sentencing, being those other diplomatic options. He's a very senior citizen and members of our country. So that's just my point. Mr. If all this I said so far and before is still not sitting well with you, I'm very sorry. It's the program, it's the title of the program, it's Dr. Damages. He said have your say. So that is why I'm having my say. If Dr. Damages have said it, maybe change it to I should have your say. Maybe I will be saying what you want me to say. But the program is have your say, and I'm having my say based on my understanding of the situation. Thank you very much for now,
Thank you,
Dr.
BKB.
Damage.
Thank you, BKB. What I like about this is that from people coming from their own perspective, it helps us to look at an issue from different angles, and we learn more from that. And that's what I want, and I think it's working out well in that concept. Let's hear from Kenne. Kenne, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Dr. Damages, yeah. Uh, so I think my own take is that, you know, as Nigerian, we should try to do things by the process, yeah. If there are processes in place, I'm sure, this process in Nigeria, if you look at some of the laws, yeah, there are laws in Nigeria that say if you want to donate kidney, these are the processes you should follow. It's because of that impunity that we keep talking about that people don't follow, the lay down laws and lay down processes. Yeah. So I thought maybe Ekweremadus went to London, to do a fast one by, boycotting some of those laws. This is what got him to what he was. Yeah. So I think the learning point here is that to our politicians, if they can learn, is to invest in our health sector so that it will be able to kind of turn around, obey some of those laws that we've put in place. There are people that are willing, to help in Nigeria to donate even without, financial inducement. But the things must be done in a proper way. That needs to be emphasized. And I don't think our politicians are taking a lesson from this as well. I saw what Reno Omokore posted, yeah. I think the focus here should, what is the takeout, and are there even some people, perpetrating the same fraud in Nigeria that Nigerian government should look into and prosecute in the same way and jail them if needed to be jailed. And necessary, law needs to be looked into so that we can refine our processes and make things to work the way it should. Yeah. I think that should be the focal point rather than saying, we should be looking at diplomatic immunity or government trying to do something about it. Yeah. That is not the business of government. Yeah. Ekweremadus is not being, detained because he was a spy for Nigeria, and that is what is usually common when you see Russia, exchanging a prisoner with the US. It is because maybe US have sent you there to go and spy on behalf of their country, yeah. So if Ekweremadus is doing that, I will understand why Nigerian government might intervene, yeah, because it's providing maybe a valuable service to the nation, yeah. But in this case, I don't see, what concerns the Nigerian government to what it's facing. It should face is the issue where the Nigerian politicians and we as Nigerians should learn from this and be able to put this in proper in Nigeria as well.
All right, thank you. The last person on this topic should be Ovie. After Ovie, we move on to Shay Tinubu. Ovie, go ahead.
Oh, what do you know? They carry last. I can't be the last. Anyway, Ike Ekweremadus. I don't know. Who should we blame? Leadership. But he might be the leader now. Anyway, I think three things for me here. I mean, the act they convicted him on, which is Modern Day Slavery Act of 2015. On somebody was alluding to the fact that they are using him as a scapegoat. I'm paraphrasing now. But yeah, I see it like that because he happened to be the first person that this act is being used to convicted in a crime that related. And if it's the description, I mean, if you are a marketer, you want to introduce a product to the general masses, what do? You choose the popular route. I have that television, you use popular faces to market your brand, and pretty much this is what, to me, is about. I'm not saying they commit a crime, but the fact that it was Tediva's life, if I'm wrong, those who live in London should correct me, and I take my time to actually listen to every word that comes out of that judgment, which is very interesting. And to me, the goal has been achieved. You fit the description very well, and that's one. Two, for me, as a father, he being a father, I mean, one would say we go at any length to save, as children, as they say. Every parent wish it is not their kids to actually die before them, it's their kids to actually bury them. And all that. So a father will go any length. But three, for me, He's 60 years old, and he's been in position as a leader of the leadership of his community for the past 26 years. Pretty much that is half of his whole adult life, I would say, or half of his life. And listening to his daughter, is after the whole sentence, and listening to the brief interview she gave, she alluded to the fact that there's an history within the father's Ekweremadus family way back. So this kind of disease or whatever that is happening to them can trace them to a father generation back. I mean, you have your one will say man who have the opportunity to be as a leader since that young age till now for about 20 some years. That should be his primary focus. How do I make sure I establish an institution that will tackle this thing head on? I mean, for what he as a leader, he rose from a local government chairman to pretty much the top of the number 3 citizens in the world. There is no power or influence that you don't have with that span of years. So, what have you achieved? Intelligence to me is when you actually say that to achieve something and you actually achieve the result. But this time you fail. You did not just fail the nation, you failed your own yourself and your immediate family. So it just I just hope we learn our leaders learn, those who are in the position of authority learn from this, that time waits for no one, and you are not immune to anything that happened to the ordinary person on the street. It can happen to you too.
All right. Thank you, Obi.
Just a few comments.
Let's listen to the data.
Oh, okay. Play the daughter's audio first.
Think is our parents, but it's a bunch of police at the door. They tell me this is, what they arrested me for. My first reaction was shock. It was difficult, especially seeing, not even just for me, because if it was a situation where it was just me, I think it would have been easier to handle. But seeing my parents in that situation as well was a lot.
What are your thoughts on your parents' conviction?
It's sad. It's been really hard to really wrap my head around it.
Do you understand the conviction and why they were found guilty?
I understand the conviction. Personally, I disagree with it. However, that's from a very biased perspective as their daughter, and I would obviously always back my parents. However, the law has taken its course, and we just have to now move forward as a family. Apart from the case and the trial, I'm also having dialysis.
What's the name of the condition that you have?
Okay, it's called nephrotic syndrome, FSGS. Basically, my kidneys are like small and they have like loads of big holes in it. Either I stay on dialysis for the rest of my life or I get a transplant. These are my two options.
Was it not possible to get a donor from within your family?
I had the APOL1 gene. So to us, that kind of meant that, kind of excluded the family, especially on my dad's side, because
All right. Dominic, you wanted to say something. You see, sometimes
I was going to say, go ahead, Rudolph.
No, I just wanted to mention that sometimes when we advocate for openness and people to talk, people think it's because we just want to know things about politicians and public officials. But this information from the data now that most people didn't know before, that there was a history of something in the family will have helped their case to begin with. I mean, especially public opinion. But when people say openness, transparency is better than anything else, people think, oh, we're saying it because we just want to get into their issue and their life or whatever. Anyway, go ahead, Adam.
I think. Sorry, Dr. Rudolph. In Nigeria, our biggest problem is political will, right? And this man has it. The talents are there in Nigeria. The resources is there, and he has the political will. So I mean, what could have stopped him? To just do one for a village, forget your country now, for your village, for the sake of your family, not even for anybody. Be selfish.
Obviously, we know that they believe they can get the best in the world, and why would they? It's like saying, why did Tinubu go to France to do whatever he went there to do? Why do they have to go outside the country for vacation when they could find a place in Nigeria that they could stay?
No, I know, I understand that. That's why in a way it's very hard for it's very hard for me to feel sad, but I'm a human at the same time. But if I put the human side of me aside, then screw him.
The thing is that most of
anyway, let me make my point because.
Sorry, 1 second. Most of this in the
Yeah,
sisters
people here have very strong personalities, and if I don't talk now, I probably won't talk in the next 1 hour. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
I've been trying to find a way to talk about health issues here, and I think this provides an opportunity to mention something very important. And my condolences, Ify. I actually lost a family friend of mine from FSGS, but I'm not going to go into the details of it. FSGS is one of the many diseases that can lead to kidney failure. But one thing that is quite unfortunate and interesting, I remember the first day I heard this in medical school when I was a medical student, and I was like, wow, this is pretty scary. FSGS has a very high percentage in Black people. A very high percentage in Black people. So when I heard about Ekweremadus daughter and someone mentions some genetic issue, one of the things that came to mind is FSGS. It's sad. But the fact that Ekweremadus didn't think that this was a vital issue to propel him enough to be an advocate for kidney disease, to be an advocate of making dialysis accessible to the common man and woman in Nigeria is something that is hard for me to believe.
Advocate for good governance too.
That one thing that people don't realize is in Africa we're moving from communicable diseases being being the thing that kills Africans most to now non-communicable diseases, which are things like hypertension, diabetes, kidney issues, stroke. These are very important things that we have to take into consideration. And so we have politicians, it's one thing to have a politician who doesn't have a personal stake in an issue. Maybe it's forgivable that you don't have any family members who have kidney problems, so you don't really care about it. But to even have someone who has that detailed of a kidney issue and they still are not motivated to do anything, what hope do we have? I don't know if you guys understand the gravity of this situation. If I don't have any family members who are at risk of developing diabetes, I probably wouldn't care. But I have grandfathers or grandmothers who die from diabetes, and I still am not even going to provide proper health care to manage such things. That means Nigeria is really hopeless. I'm really, really disappointed. I didn't know about the FSGS thing till you guys told me this morning. It's serious. What has he done in his village, healthcare-wise? What has he done in his senatorial districts, health-wise? What has he done to Nigeria, health-wise?
Sorry to interject.
National Hospital and see the kind of things that are being, the kind of nonsense that are being done there.
This is us believing that she's telling the truth.
It's sad in a country. You know what? Maybe they should have given him 20 years, quite honestly.
Exactly.
So Dominic, Dr. Dominic, this is us believing what she said is true. I have no evidence to doubt her, but the court of public opinion still exists. Ekweremadus is going to come out of jail at some point or prison at some point. So I won't put anything past Nigerian politicians to put that out there to soften how people judge him and see the case. She might be telling the truth, but please, you're dealing with the most corrupt people alive, Nigerian politicians. It is possible this is a lie. It's a possibility.
It's possible.
So let's just have that at the back of our minds. I feel sorry for her. I hope she gets all the help she needs. But that story about them, because when Ovie said what he said, honestly, it struck me to think, so if it runs in your family that deep, like Ovie said, why wouldn't you invest in it in Nigeria? So that made me think, could this be something just to say, oh, let's just drop something out there and people will be gentle with us? Just a thought.
Can I say something?
I would think that Ekweremadus has everything. I mean, everything that play in his favor to advocate for this population of people. And we know we have more of them in Nigeria. He has the political power, the money is there, and if he decides to say, I want to raise a hospital overnight, there are people who will support him to do it. But no, selfishness, wickedness, greediness, and class will not let them do the needful. So he served them right.
All right, man of
Rudolph, I told you I'm not the
Yeah,
last.
hold on.
I
I
told
was
you
just
I'm not
gonna
the
say
last.
something about what Show said. I think I believe the lady to a certain extent because that statement he made is an indictment to his father. For not having the political way to emphasize about what transpired during. I mean, what went on in the family. Use that opportunity to build hospital and all that kind of thing. So that's what I kind of lean towards what she said. Why would they concuss it? Of course, anything is possible. Okay, sure, I'm not disputing what you said. Anything is possible. Did they say something like that to people to feel sympathy for them? I don't know. It's not a good message, either way. So I kind of believe there may be some truth, to what he said, which is pure an indictment to him, being a politician for that long, imagine a deputy president. You didn't use your power, the will of power to do something to your community, even to Nigeria. You wouldn't have been in that situation right now. That's all I have to say in that point. Thank you.
Sorry, Doc. I just want to add something, Dr. Damages. When we think like this, you are making these politicians think that they are Nigerians. These guys don't think like us. They don't believe that Nigeria is where they belong. Look at the daughter speak. Is that daughter a citizen of Nigeria? Most of them think that everything is settled here. So
Yes, it's
when you say something about the family back home, the family is so the next place they are moving is London. Then from London they move
So,
to US, from US to
so
Canada.
Augustine, are you saying we cannot relate with that? Are you saying we can't relate?
Dr.
Can we?
Damages,
Are you saying we can't
let me just
relate?
Can we?
add something a little bit to what Austin has said. You see, that is and then somebody said we should not discuss. There's no how we can do this program and discuss the current situation in Nigeria properly without talking about what is going on, especially in the Southeast. Not because I'm from the Southeast, but you see, the majority of what plays out right now in Nigeria, you can just pinpoint and hold them in, from the leadership of people in the Southeast. The Southeast is one place where the leadership and the people are totally in disarray. The leadership is on a very high pedestal, while the people of the Southeast are at another level. Now, this is somebody, and I said this earlier on, when I was doing NYSC in Abuja, one of my my co-NYSC person served in the Ekweremadus office. That's how long that guy had been in the house. Okay? And that's how much they've been making money. They don't see themselves as Nigerians. Come on. I mean, you're reducing them. Okay? This guy has been having diplomatic passports for over 20 years. He walks through airports around the nations. He doesn't go through checks. So this is the first time a system is reducing him to this. And as an Igbo man, you see, when something happens to you in a strange land, you go back and you ask yourself, like those of us I'm a Christian, but if you read a lot of the history of Igbos, you go and ask your Ofo. The time he was slapped in Germany would have been when he should have learnt his lesson, that the gods of Igbo land are against him. I'm serious. Okay? Now he didn't learn that lesson. He still went ahead. Just before he was caught, this thing happened to him in England. Okay, he went to the east and he made it a public broadcast that the Igbos cannot vote anybody apart from the people they tell them to vote. Who is P2B? Okay, I'm not a P2B supporter. I'm not there to vote because before that I had already run. At least make I fit train my children before they kill me. Now, but how can you make a statement of a people who are over 60 million that unless you tell them, direct them where they should vote? You see, when he finished making that statement, he left for England to go and do this thing. And he never came back. He didn't witness the election. Okay? And he may not even witness the next election in the next 4 seconds or 2 seconds before he comes out. What am I trying to say? There is a total disconnect between the leadership of the East and the people of the East. Thank you.
So, hold on. Are you saying that Chukwuabiama is after him or something, or Amadioha. What are you trying to say?
Okay.
Amadioha and
Okay.
Chukwuabiama.
Let me answer that question.
It's
See,
Chuko Okuka that is after him. Chuko Okuka is after him.
I'm a Christian. You know, there was a time I was, and I'm sorry if you're not a Christian, but I'm going to, say what my experience has been. There was a time I was praying and I asked God, why are you so this way to Saul? You didn't even give an opportunity to repent before he said to take him out of the system. So one morning I was reading the Bible and my spirit was directed me to particular places where God gave Saul 3 opportunities to fail, to change, for which he didn't. And that was when the kingdom was taken from him. So when I was there praying, he told me that God does not bring you to the public, especially if you're a leader, to disgrace you, unless he has warned you in the background. Okay, he would have warned you many times and even sent people to come and warn you before he comes to this point. So he must have been told many times that, oh boy, you are going too far away. Okay? He refused to hear. Tell me, Dr. Damages, if you are the man who has been in the Senate for 26 years, you won't even build a hospital knowing that your family has a record of kidney issues. Don't say build for Nigeria. What about build in your own place, in your southeast? Okay? Because every month you make 30 million. Even with 1 month's salary, you can build a good hospital. Okay? You didn't do that for your own family's sake. And today, the people, some people who don't understand politics are shouting that he should be pardoned. Why would he be pardoned? Let him serve his full term. He deserves it. Okay? And that I don't have any pity for him. And I'm not saying that I'm not somebody who is hard. I'm saying that, look, these people have punished Nigerians enough. Do you know how many people have died from kidney issues in Nigeria? Do you know how many people that have suffered from big man coming into this big man syndrome? You catch a small boy, you go remove his kidney for nothing, for peanuts. 270,000 naira. That's what you are paying for a kidney. Okay, and I just checked the law while we're talking about it. The Nigerian law says that for a kidney transplant, you should pay the donor between 4.5 to 7 million naira, which I even think is what is too cheap. Okay, because of the quality, or rather the exchange rate right now. What is 7 million? Okay, and then think about the long life effect of that transplant on the subject, the person who went through it, which is why the judge was so angry. You did not make any provision for him to be taken care of after that. You did not make any provision for him to be eventually, if he runs into any problem in future, how that can be taken care of. You just wanted to harvest his organ and then dump him. Come on, man.
All right, we have to move on to a different topic. But let me show you guys. Someone was talking about building a hospital. Dr. Maduka built a hospital in his village, and this is the hospital. According to people who have been there, I think the guy ran for governor of Anambra State. He lost. He came back to America. The hospital is abandoned. Nothing is happening in that. So it's not just about building. Also, it's about plans to put it into use. I know that one other governor, what's his name, built a wonderful hospital. I think at Babio. Down there in the Niger Delta, and they have all the equipment and nobody's using them. People continue to go abroad. They don't even have people who can use the equipment very, very well, even if they go in there. So there are so many issues with medical practice in Nigeria. All right. We have to move on. I know that everybody would like to say more on this. Oh, forefathers, so welcome to the show. I didn't see you. Welcome to the show.
Action now. Rudolph, we have had one chance.
So forefathers, you can weigh in on this before we move to something else. Go ahead, forefathers.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rudolph. I don't know who put that action now there. Somewhere along the line, I picked it up when I'm logging on to many sites.
Sorry, I think. Sorry, Fafara. The question should be, why do you not cover that event live for us? You're in London. If not transfer, you don't get for us.
To cover his colonial master.
I know. You think that don't get live? That was not my business, so let them go and do their own thing there.
But if they say military trial, military trials now, you will be there.
Of course, that is something very important. What are you talking about? So, yeah, this conviction, I heard about it, there's, a while ago, and if he, I think I heard everybody. I didn't hear exactly what happened, but it appears that you lost someone. I would like to join everyone in, wishing you, condolences and all the rest of it. Um, I think from what I've listened to so far, Ovie touched on something that is quite important. That if the family had this issue, how is it that they've not made it a serious matter to, improve the healthcare system in the country? These officials, the same, every one of us has had a mishap within the family and with the healthcare system in Nigeria. So you would think when people get into power, they would want to avoid this tourism, health tourism that they do, but they don't. They carry on the same practice again. Um, obviously, the issue is a little bit more complex given what Rudolph revealed just now, because clearly some people build hospitals, but there's nobody to man them. They didn't cater for how it's going to be manned and maintained, and so that it will actually be productive. So that aspect is there. But I think if the federal government wanted to do something good, they could have incorporated, that kind of structure, or the innovation, or whoever wants to, innovate in the healthcare sector, to help them do it within the general healthcare this in the system, so that you have people already there willing, ready to use those things. But no, they don't want to do that. They would rather go overseas. And now, Nigerian rich man goes overseas, pays Nigerian poor man poor money, little money, and he's paid the price for what he has done. All that he is just, and what he's gotten, he deserves to get it, because for one, he's supposed to be a lawyer, and he went to the UK to break such a law. That is silly, really, and it's just unbelievable. You wonder why they are running our country badly. But for me anyway, even if all that he deserves what he's getting, I don't believe that he should be in jail in a foreign country. I don't believe that they should be making spectacle of our this in the senior officials. For better or for worse, it's our mess, and they shouldn't be showing our mess, using them for their own props. I think what we should be doing too is that when they want to convict any Yoruba man in Nigeria, they should broadcast him like that too, on full blast, so that they too see that we have a justice system. If that's what they want to do. Because the UK say, I think some people are using this to do some kind of advertisement for the UK. There's a lot of corruption in the UK. Don't make no mistake. There was a sex scandal that was going on in the House of Parliament, Westminster area, that they wanted to investigate. All the judges stepped down. They couldn't investigate. The whole thing collapsed. So there's corruption here, in big ones here, that nobody can question. Look, Jeffrey Epstein. You all heard about him and how he just died in jail, in the mysterious circumstances. So I don't just like the idea of people treating our people badly, and some of our people justifying it that, okay, let them have justice there. Yes, you may not be able to have justice in Nigeria the way you would like it, but we have to start cleaning up our own mess. That's how I look at this thing. We have to start cleaning up our own mess. Don't say because you cannot clean up your own mess, let some other person do it. Because tomorrow it is you they'll come and take.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, please.
Here's my question for you, fathers, is this. I think about this situation in different ways, but one major way I think about it is, what is the bottom line of what we're trying to achieve in such a situation? When we want through justice, right? We're all heading to one point, which is we don't want something like this to repeat again. We want things to be better in the country. If you see that extraditing to Nigeria does not bring through justice, but maybe convicting him in a foreign land brings through justice, which side would you pick? Would you pick the politically correct choice of he's an active senator of a parliament of a sovereign country, therefore to be politically correct you send him back to Nigeria, where probably there will not be justice, there wouldn't be lessons learned, there wouldn't be true justice, or forget your political grandstanding and have him be prosecuted in a foreign land and at least set an example. And hopefully that would cue in the minds of Nigerian politicians. UK, you can't just go to UK or any of these Western countries and do any mess. What's your say?
It's interesting you call it political grandstanding when
No,
sovereignty is supposed to be
that's not a
covered.
good term to use. What I mean is
Yeah.
being inflexible or trying to always be official.
I get what you mean. I get what you are trying to get at, but I guess good thing that you corrected that, because people would think that the idea, for me, sovereignty is a sacred thing. You can't. It's not either or. You can't have other people take care of your mess. It's just that simple. It can be messy. It can be just because they jailed him there, does that mean injustice has ended in Nigeria? It hasn't changed anything.
No, forefathers. It wasn't prosecuted because he commits the crime
committed a
against
crime
their
there.
own act.
I understand that.
Not necessarily. Our own, we never start to deal with him yet. He just fuck off where he day. He shit for church for them. Now they say they clean up. So
I know,
it has nothing to
but
do with us.
they can
at this
have him
point.
serve the sentence in Nigeria. They can
No,
have him
but
serve
you
the
can't
sentence
tell
in
them. You
Nigeria.
cannot tell them how to carry out their own rules. You can't tell them how to carry their own rules.
I'm not telling them how to carry out, but
it.
that's what they ask us to do. That's what other people do.
Okay,
Other
guys.
nations do it.
No,
when they commit a crime.
He breaks their
Hold
laws.
on now.
He has
Come
to
on.
pay for it.
Ovie, you made a good point now. You are beginning to deviate. Look at when
But
an American.
No.
Can I finish my point?
The idea that people should not criticize the fact that what they are doing is right is ridiculous. They break their laws. That's on them. And how they decide
I
to
don't know
treat him
what
is on them.
you heard. I don't know what you heard. What I'm saying is that when an American official killed a British national on the road in the UK, did they bring her to come and serve in the UK? No. If what they did was they smuggled her out, and Americans smuggled that lady out of the UK to go and listen.
Is that allegedly?
No, it's not allegedly. It's a fact.
All right,
This one is a fact. So my point is that see, if you either cherish your freedom or
He
not.
was not smuggled out. The guy
not in
left
support of
before they
smuggling
even
out.
brought the charges against him. I remember that case.
It wasn't a guy, it was a
So
lady.
the lady that killed the cyclist.
They knew she committed
she
a crime.
was not smuggled. No, nobody.
Oh my God! You see how they are polishing it. You see how you bend over backward to polish something that is not even true.
No, sorry.
I don't know what people you want your country to be good. You are here trying to apologize to other people. The truth is that woman was taken out. She knew she had killed somebody and she left the country. That is what they call smuggling.
Forefathers. Do you know why these things happen? Forefathers.
She left. It wasn't
What do you mean she left? They were looking for her.
How are you going to accuse them of
Do you know why these things happen?
That is what they did.
I mean, at the risk of oversimplifying these things.
Everyone, please mute. Forefathers, Ify, why don't both of you figure this stuff out? Text me or Rudolph, and then we'll clarify who is right and who's wrong. Let's move on.
No, okay, guys. No, so what
I don't know why I was supposed to be answering a question, then they all jumped
Finish
in.
answering your question, Forefathers.
So the question for me, anyway, your sovereignty is either sacred or it's not. You can't have it both ways, because if you are having other people do your job, clean your this thing for you, and maintain administer your justice for you, sooner or later they will come and actually administer justice for you, and you shouldn't allow that to happen. Most nations, what they tend to do is, if you want to convict that person, either you have an agreement with them, okay, they'll say, okay, fine. Most of the time, they will argue that you should send the person back to their country so that the person will serve there. That is normally the idea. And this is a senior official of Nigeria. It's not just an ordinary individual. He's corrupt. He's all kinds of nonsense. But it's our nonsense. This thing that we do, that want to sell our people overseas, I don't understand that psychology. If you think you want your country to be good and you don't change that mentality, believe me, your country will never recover. Because you don't see your sovereignty as sacred. If you don't see that, how can you defend it?
Two
It's ridiculous.
Naija, calm down.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think
Wait,
hold on. Hold on, Two Naija, you are
can we
wrong.
respond,
Can we
please? Make it not
continue? Otherwise,
If you
make it not
if your
delay the
sovereignty is
weekend. Can we
wishy-washy, you will
let's
sell it any
continue.
moment you get a chance.
Forefathers, thank you.
make it
Whose
not
fault
delay
is it
the
that it is
weekend? Can we
wishy-washy?
respond?
No,
Can we
everybody.
These
respond?
same
Whose
leaders.
fault is it?
No,
Exactly. Let them deal with it. We're not responsible for the wishy-washy reputation we have. See, forefathers, the problem is America, UK, and all these people, they can talk to each other on a big boy table. Nigeria is not on that table. We are not even in the same restaurant. You don't sit on that table. You don't get to tell them. That's the
Because we choose
difference.
not to. We choose not to.
Who chose? Is it you, forefathers, or show on this show, or Ekweremadus and his gang? Why? What's the
If we
problem?
choose not to, if we
We've
choose not
discussed
to,
this before.
Ekweremadus choose not
Forefathers,
to,
God,
Dominic choose not to,
forefathers, God
because
forbid.
they argue for
If you
the
get
other
into
side.
trouble in the UK, I will come and support you. God forbid.
Pardon?
If you get into trouble, I'll come and support you. CM lives in the UK. If he's in trouble, I will go and support him. But these guys are the cause of the problem. Why am I bothered? I'm not. They are the ones that
They
can
are
fix
yours.
it. Do you think that the people listening to the news, all these Oyibo people listening to the news, who is causing more damage to the reputation of Nigeria? Me going to the office, doing my bit. I've not been sacked. They are the ones causing the reputational damage. We are not the ones responsible for this. As average Nigerians, we are doing our bit to uphold, the little that is left of our reputation. But the people that have the most power, that have when you have like the cheat code, they have the turbo button that they can press to make our reputation better. They are going in reverse. And you are saying me that I'm just going on the slow lane should fix it.
I hear what you are saying, but you are missing the fact that we are all part of the same group. They don't see us as individuals.
Okay.
We are
Okay.
all
Can
one group. It's our mess. We created it. It's like a parent. You can't just ignore. You can't just say, let them handle it for us. You
Hold on,
want to
guys.
always take responsibility. If you don't learn to take responsibility, where would you draw the line?
Who are the
Okay.
us you're talking about? You cannot respond.
Forefather
Okay, you
My
believe in
best,
that. You can believe in that all you want. I just believe that sovereignty is sacred. You can't choose and pick whenever you like. You just say, "Oh, I'm sovereign. Tomorrow I'm not. Let me be a houseboy for this."
Go and bring him
That's
back.
not how
Go
it
and bring him
works.
back to Nigeria. You can do it.
Sorry.
Go and bring
Okay,
him. We
guys.
mandate you.
Hold on. Can you guys listen to me? We've spent 2 hours on one topic. We have like 7. We have to move on. All right. So let's move on to the next topic, and that is about Bola Tinubu, the son of Bola Tinubu, who we all know bought a house in the UK. And sometimes I think that for those who are in the UK, when something like this happens and you're coming on the show, it would be helpful if you can give us something that we don't know. But let's play this video before we start.
Everyone, please.
I'm sorry, I don't know why my video is taking a long time.
Detailing how Aranda Overseas Corp, which is a company belonging to Sheyi Tinubu, the son of the president-elect Bola Tinubu, is said to have purchased a London mansion, which the Nigerian government had tried to seize as property bought with the proceeds of crime. Well, according to the report, he bought the property for $10.8 million, that's about £9 million, through the company in which he has majority shares in 2017. And the details of the company is publicly available on the UK government's website. And the property is said to have previously belonged to Mr. Kolawole Aluko, whom the federal government, under the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, has accused of billions of naira worth of fraud and of buying the mansion with embezzled funds. So this story has gotten a lot of Nigerians, even people outside of Nigeria, talking about the case, especially because it is coming less than a month to the inauguration of the president-elect.
All right. Oh, all right. So let's hear what you guys think. We will go through and get everybody to have a say on this, and the people in the backstage. I know there are people who are waiting for their chance to come up. So let me start with you, Ify. Go ahead.
Oh boy, oh boy. I don't know what the guy does for a living. Does anybody know? Because I don't know.
He's supposed to be into advertising. That's the allegation, alleged job he does. Is it like his major business supposed to be advertising?
So the truth of the matter is that I know a lot of us might be, I know, are in support of Tinubu, and I don't have no problem, with that. Well, this is my concern. This is a property that was confiscated from, is it the lady, the former minister, petroleum minister, right?
Desiani.
Why all of a sudden this guy went behind and bought the same property? I don't have any problem that he bought the property. But my thing is that it boils down to what Show was talking about. The same inner circle, the same big people. This is a guy that is 30-something years old. Where is he getting all this money to buy this property? You can't tell me he has a business or he has an investment. How did he get to that point? He has to tell us what he's doing. And apparently nothing other than from his father's stolen money from the Lagos government. I don't know. This is allegedly that his father is being paid $5 million every month by the state of Lagos state government. And this is somebody who's going to be our president, the son of our president. God knows what's going to happen. See, no matter how much we had to, pat this man to be our president, we're going to hear him. And like I always say, we're going to miss our president, our honorable Buhari. We will pray that Buhari comes back. Pray. We will use him as a point of contact to come back to us. Watch. This is the son of an incoming president. We're talking about the stolen money to buy a property, and they use the stolen money to rebut the property. Hello, Nigerians. Where are we even heading to? And we are all sitting down here talking about corruption in Nigeria. And Tinubu is telling us that he's going to be in charge of whatever corruption. And the corruption, he is a corrupt leader himself, together with his son and his family and his daughters, buying properties cash. What are they doing? They need to tell us what they're doing. Other than that, this is a Nigerian money stolen from us.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ify. Jude, you're next.
Well, for the record, this guy, he didn't buy that house this year or last year. I think that was purchased, I think, 2016. And that was when this guy, according to record, was just 30 years old. So a 30-year-old boy, little boy, most of his peers are still in university in Nigeria today. And he could have the amount, such a humongous amount, to pay for a house of over $10 million cash. Then that is one of those things we're talking about. I continue to say that if any punishment should come on this politician, none of their children should be spared. Because it is their children that are the beneficiary of what they have deprived the children of others in Nigeria. Many people are roaming, millions of children are roaming the streets of Lagos, hawking pure water, bread, and so many other things. Those are children that people like Tinubu and other politicians in Nigeria have deprived their parents the opportunity to have a good life, to be able to cater for those children. So why then should any normal human being argue that when the punishment should come upon them, that their children should be exonerated? I don't know how it makes sense. Just like the Ekweremadus daughter. Ekweremadus daughter, if you ask her now, go and ask her, are you from Nigeria? She's going to tell you, I'm not a Nigerian, though my parents are from Nigeria. Just like every other kids that are born in America here, that are Nigerian parents, ask them, where are you from? Oh, I am an American. Where are your parents? But my parents are from Nigeria. I mean, look, just look at that. The daughter, two of his daughter bought and paid cash of close to $5 million in New York, in a condo. I even know the street of one of the condos. I used to pass there every day going to work when I was in New York. Where do they get this money? These are children. These are girls that are less than 20 years and 30 years old. In their 25 years, they're in their 25 years of age. Where do they get those money? And you tell me the day nemesis will come, because surely nemesis will come. A day of reckoning will come for all these politicians. And when it comes, I just pray and hope that somebody who will champion the punishment will be somebody like me. Their children and children will suffer for everything their father have done, because they are the beneficiaries. And none of them has ever come out to say, Papa, Mama, please stop stealing Nigerians' money. Stop stealing the people's money. Have any of them come out to say that? No. Look at the children of Buhari. Have any of them come out to tell Buhari, their father, stop killing Nigerians, stop financing terrorism in Nigeria? No.
All right. Thank you, Jude. Austin, you're next.
Thank you, Dr. Damages, and thank you, everyone. So this is the good thing that have just come, and it is also given to us by our masters. Bloomberg gave us this revelation, and we are bouncing on it. When I heard of this news, I rushed to knowing what this guy do. When I saw that his company is advertisement, I went to John Momo, who is the owner of Channel TV, to check his net worth. What is on record is $5 million. The owner of Channel TV, his net worth is $5 million. But look at Sheyi Tinubu at the age of 30. Is he Sheyi that bought this? No. But look at how we are fighting ourselves in this platform. Those of us living abroad, serving Nigeria, we make all our money, take care of Nigeria. Then Nigerians, our leaders, get all the money we bring in and send it overseas and waste it. What we really need? And the people are here clamoring for somebody with this kind of family background. It pains. It pains my heart that somebody from this family background, people are supporting him to come and be our president. Look at all the accusations that have been levied upon this family. Nobody from that family have come up to clear one. And we keep admitting it, and we keep speaking for them, cursing ourselves for them. And look at the disgrace these guys bring to us. It's a thing of shame that we keep suffering for the people who have refused to understand what it means. Like somebody like Sheyi Tinubu's family, they don't know what it means to be overseas and work from Monday to Monday to take care of people who they should take care of.
Thank you. I forgot where my bell was.
And that same guy is the same guy that bought a wristwatch of over 75 million naira.
All right. Sure, you're next.
Okay. I don't think there's much to add to the Sheyi Tinubu gist. He's already, it's shown that he's a big boy. What he does, people said, he's into advertising and all of that. But when he bought this property, he was about 30 years old. And I've seen, one or two people in the comment section say, there are people who are uneducated or unintelligent people questioning Sheyi Tinubu's source of wealth. He has a job and all of that. See, buying an 11 million pound property itself, $11 million property is a stretch. And to buy it without a mortgage, that's what raises the question. I mean, who buys a house mortgage free, like cash? Even, it raises suspicion about your source of wealth. It's about, for a lot of people who do that, it's about cleaning money, trying to stash money away. So you can't just wake up and say, I want to buy a property cash down. They would ask you questions and all of that. So it's all suspicious. And people are more concerned and interested because it's going to become the first son of Nigeria. You'll probably have an office, the office of the first son of Nigeria. And it's not new. Worried that when he came in 2015, they said he contributed money to buy his form, the presidential nomination form. But his son crashed rich man's Okada while they were in office. The Okada was how much? About 10 million naira or so. Where did he get it from? You understand? So these things are not new. It's going to carry on. Some of us will keep talking about it. And, so, people will call us out and call us names and say we are haters. We should, now who send your papa, make your papa no work. Now Tinubu cause your papa, make it broke. They will broke shame us, broke shame our parents. and all of that. So they have more properties in the UK than that one. They have more than one. I can tell you that for a fact. They have more than one. I have a friend who, like a brother, who went for vote canvassing in 2006. Shortly after I came to the UK, one of the jobs he got there, vote canvassing and all of that. And he came back and he said, just properties belonging to Bola Tinubu, Remi Tinubu properties. So, they have properties everywhere. What makes it even more shady is the fact that it's linked to Kola Luko, Desiani. Yorubas will say Olegbe, Olegba. So from one criminal to another criminal, they're just passing it. You understand? So it's nothing new. It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this place. And when trouble lands at their door, we'll be called again as ordinary citizens to uphold the image of Nigeria. This is where I disagree. The people buying properties now, Bloomberg put this out. So that's why you've not seen all these rabid dogs start, saying it's lie, fake news, because it was from Bloomberg. So they can't say it's not true. So when trouble lands now, I mean, did you notice Bloomberg? Oh, and by the way, Kulata said, let's go to show for Twitter news. Yes. So Bloomberg, their Twitter accounts, Bloomberg Africa, Bloomberg Asia, Bloomberg Business, all their Twitter accounts, they've been posting it every day. Now they've added videos. For those who are blind, you can hear the video. So now, they're the people shaming us across the world. How much can you and I do? Yes, we'll do our best to uphold the image of the country. But if we have leaders who have power to shape the image and correct the narration, if they are hell-bent on going on reverse, there's not much we can do. And another news from Twitter, before I leave quickly, maybe it doesn't make it to mainstream media. Someone talked about Akpabio and the hospital they built and all of that. I hope it's a hospital that treats his ailment, because now he has a case with EFCC, as most of you would know, 108 billion naira, fraud case. Now they're asking him to come over the last 1 week. He's saying he's got pneumonia, he's got cardiac arrhythmia, and he can't attend. He cannot go and see them, but he's busy chasing to become Senate president. He has the energy to chase that one, but to go and see EFCC, cardiac arrhythmia and pneumonia is what he has. And oh, by the way, this other guy, is it David? What's this governor? David, the APC guy. What's his name?
Umahi.
David Umahi. Yeah, David Umahi said he's stepping down for Akpabio to become Senate president. Sorry, who told him they are going to give it to him? It's like me saying I'm no longer interested in Beyonce. Who dashed me? He said he's stepping down. Anyway, Kulata, that's for you from Twitter, okay? I'll go back on Twitter. I'll go and see if I can find anything more interesting to tell you.
All right, man of prestige.
Sure, I give you golden ticket to come.
Yeah,
thank
you very much. Thank you very much. Let me start from where I just stuff about David Umahi. That guy is a character. Have you noticed that this guy named the so-called? Have you seen the airport at Ebonyi State? I mean, he built infrastructure and all that kind of, but I mean, his state ranked number 4 as the poorest state. Is it about just building infrastructure and everything? That's all he built, with borrowed money, and people are talking about him, and he named the airport Buhari. I mean, there's still airport in Nigeria that name under Buhari. Can you people imagine that? I mean, he's still a living president. Most of the time, they named airport somebody who has passed away, or somebody like Ujugu and all that kind of things. But he decided to. I mean, that guy is a caricature. I'm talking about he's going to step down for Akpabio to come in. I mean, but anyway, let me digress from there. Everybody has spoken, what I was going to speak, but what I'm just going to tell everybody: have you all seen the movie on Netflix called Landromat? You all need to go watch it. This is exactly, I don't know how many people here have watched that movie on Landromat. This is exactly the scenario.
I heard about it. The company things that they used to do, have things offshore.
Exactly. This is exactly what's happening in Nigeria.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's happening in Nigeria by Shehu and everything. I don't have that much to say, but your people need to go watch it and get more education about the situation we have in Nigeria. But having said that, I think he bought the house, from what I understand. Somebody said 216. I think it was Jude. But for point of correction, I think it was 217 that he bought. 2017 he bought the house. I think the house probably worth like about 24 million. That's supposed to be the cost of the house, but due to the way it's on forfeit and everything, he was able to purchase it 11 million, by offshore something. I don't want to go into education on that guy. Just the crime aspect of it. This is the problem with Nigeria. I don't know if some people here have noticed. Every house that has been seized in Nigeria is being recycled by the by Buhari cabinet. The whole house that was seized in Abuja, most of the people in the cabinet and the minister, they bought the house over again. Yeah, go and see it. They bought the house all over again. So this is the problem we have in Nigeria. And somebody is coming here to tell me Nigeria is going to be safe. Was safe? It will never get better. You have the worst corrupted. You have the worst corrupted selected president or whatever he is coming in. It's going to be worse. Nigeria, you all get ready for whatever you want to be. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, man of prestige. Femi, you're next.
Yeah, something that I found kind of instructive was when I realized that there was actually what they refer to as a Mariva injunction by a federal high court in Lagos, asking for stay of execution when the lawyers to Kola Aluku and the other guy that were fronting on behalf of Desiani kind of like appealed the federal government's, the EFCC, sorry, the EFCC's initial plea that the properties, and in fact, the properties, as it turns out, and of course, in the usual tradition of Nigerian, these Nigerian elites, especially the leaders, the president has scattered not just the one in London, and of course, you can be sure, like Shu earlier said, you have been guaranteed there's more. There's a couple of them it's like 17 in total. I mean, Abuja, UK, US, Switzerland, Dubai, which is almost like the new haven in the last couple of years. So something that kind of struck me is that between when the plea, I mean, the initial plea for by the FCC for the property to be frozen, both the ones in Nigeria and abroad, was put in place. I think what I saw was around like August or thereabout, 2017. And October 2017, when there was a counter plea by the lawyers to Aluko, had asked for the case to be dismissed. There's something that's not adding up, because I mean, this is late 2017, and all of a sudden, that's in 2017, the property was bought. And here is someone telling us that number one, the father is telling us they're going to fight corruption. Number two, the son is telling us that Nigeria is going to be better under this administration. And then, more interestingly, we now had, it's like they're insulting everybody's intelligence now. You now have had a Babu. It's almost like you have number one, corruption in chief. Corruption is like, it's like we're going to have it's interesting times now. We're going to have the president who's definitely, hey, see, Rudolph, remember what David Udeyi said a couple of months ago? Was it 2 months ago? He said by the time he gets to that point where he becomes president, a lot of things are going to start coming out. Bloomberg is not Nigerian. A Nigerian, what's it called? We're in for more. Let's enjoy. Keep enjoying.
All right, thank you, Femi. Mama Echo.
I laugh. Tutu, they are babakus. You people not carry this news of Sheyi property. Now, Obi call Oyedepo. Now, na flash up and down. Why not flash this one? Why? No problem. The food has been cooked. Everybody go chop the breakfast. Until we do one thing, the recommendation of Amechi is that if we not stone them, they will not stop looting. Sheyi, where you get money to buy property? And some Obabaku, they say some people they jealous. Jealous waiting. Be jealous of vanity. Vanity upon vanity. All is vanity. You breathe your last breath today. All of us, we are equal to 6 feet. Whether you get plenty money, you not get plenty money, they know they dig 12 feet for you. Now 6 feet, all of us, they enter neat. If they like, make they wear you gold wristwatch, gold wrapper, gold coat. In the night, armed robber go come carry you out, remove her, put you back. Because that scripture cannot be broken for anybody. Naked you come, naked you are going back. So Sheyi, now your drug papa money, now you take they buy. Continue. And person when he use corruption, take collect mandate. He say he won't fight corruption. Hey, corruption. If you be human being, you for don't revolt, oh, you for don't vesper. But unfortunately, you are not a human being. How can corrupt person when thief mandate? He come dey look us for face, he won't fight corruption. The same propaganda when boo do, when at the end of the day, he come be the chief executive officer of corruption. Now they thief our money, they build railway go Niger, then build the refinery there. Then go carry armor tank, plenty bulletproof car when he want to secure himself. In Nigeria, make una let am happen. Me, hunger no go beat me. Nothing. Now na go suffer. But if any of una, when he help and do this work, carry phone, call any of my pikin for Bodo Yibo, make him send una a dime. The blood of the innocent and the spirit of the innocent, he go destroy una.
Thank you, Mama Icho. Ovie.
Yeah, sorry again. Let me put this notice out there. Anytime anybody speak, and if I happen to be either smiling or laughing, 99% of the time it's not because of what the person is saying, it's because of what is happening in the comment section. There's this guy, Odi, who just anticipate my what I'm going to say. When if they talk, he say, we disagree with that. So again, when about a couple of people speak again, he say, Ovi is in pain. As if as if I literally disagree with what people are saying. So the comment section is kind of hilarious. Yes, on the Sheyi Tinubu, in village politics 101, that's what they call noise and signal. And this Sheyi thing fall into that type of a noise, meaningful noise, just to, as far as I'm concerned, a distraction. It's not, what is the point, if I may ask? So by the way, I didn't really pay, it's a distraction from what actually happened in Port Harcourt, why Tinubu paid 2-day visit to week as president-elect. So a lot of things actually happen that I pay attention to, and one of those is Tinubu said Nigeria is not negotiable, which is it's sad that they have to actually retaliate it, but I think it's important at this point of our nationhood. But most importantly, I just hope that the government will actually carry a policy that will drive that non-negotiable, should not just be end up on a literary on a campaign train. That's one. Two, he said something about it's not going to reform Wiki, not exactly, but something along that line.
Ovie, you moved away from our topic. We are going to talk about Tinubu in Port Harcourt, but now we're talking about Sheyi. If you don't have anything to say about
Sheyi, as noise. It's just.
So why is it noise to you? Are you saying that? Why is it noise to you? Are you saying that you have nothing? You don't think there's anything there?
So
it's not an important story. That's
what's the point? What is?
Go ahead.
What is there? I don't know what is there. What is there? Say Bola Tinubu picking buy property. Then what? So what?
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't vote for her now.
No
I
problem.
Vote for him, so I don't care what he does.
Yeah. We'll come back to when we talk about Tinubu in Port Harcourt. We'll come to you. You can give us your take. The Prince of Peace. You're next.
Yeah. Well done, Unado. Yes, we're talking about Tinubu and the gang. It's unfortunate that we see what we see and we hear what we hear. that this family has been perpetrating over the years. You know, you see, well, if you go down memory lane, you will see a pattern, which this man is using. Everything he does is by proxy. He doesn't show it himself, and that shows, you know, an astute uh, person that knows how to dodge both the law and humanity. So for his son, buying a $11 million worth of property in UK, I'm beginning to wonder, like every other person here, and as an average Nigerian, where did this money come from? You see, if we follow the money coming from this family, eh, if you follow the money, you begin to understand who these people are. These people are no joke. Oh. You see, Tinubu and gang, they are no joke. See, they are going. I pray that this man is not sworn in. If he's sworn in the next 22, 23 days, Nigeria is gone completely. We cannot recover from what is going to happen if this man is sworn in. So I mean,
the priest, what will happen?
I say we cannot recover because
from what will happen? He said from what will happen. What do you think will happen?
Nigeria will become the gateway for drug trafficking. It's already there. Look at how many months ago there was a drug bust of how many billions of naira. So Nigeria will become a transit for money laundering, transit for drug trafficking, and the kind of thing that will come. Escobar will be a child slave. Escobar will be a child slave. Thank you.
When I ask some questions, it's for clarity. People watching at home, you might know what you are saying, but somebody at home might not know what you mean. So I just wanted to get it out. CM, welcome to the show.
Okay.
CM, were you at the King Charles event? I don't know. I was looking for you there.
Did you? Hey, you should know I'm not an imperialist holder. I should have been in my village doing justice to pounded yam and the phone, but I couldn't help it. So no, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I'm not interested. To me, I do not know where is the noise coming from. I do not know why they are still keeping the monarchy. It presents to me an aura of intimidation and imperialism. I don't know why they are still. Britain is still. In fact, it's a president-like country and do away with it. After all, they had it in France, the time of Louis XV or XIV. I don't know. They stopped it. I don't know why Britain is wasting money. There's no more Commonwealth now. We are colonizing so that everybody will send money to be able to sustain the distance. It's a waste anyway, not to worry. King Charles, maybe, I don't know, but I did not go and I don't want to. I'm not interested.
But CM, your tax money was
responsible why we are suffering in Nigeria.
CM, I have a question. What do you think?
Unfortunately, I can't avoid it. Yes, please.
Yeah, I was going to mention.
Yes, please.
You and forefathers' tax money were used to fund this coronation. What are your thoughts? What is it? Go ahead, CM.
I think I need to mandate you to recover my tax money from me. I will sign the power of attorney. I will mandate you if you can 50-50. Or 50, we share it 50. No, it's true. So, he said, to me, I don't see the need. They should stop it. That's why they want Nigeria. That's why, in fact, let's probably correct me. If you look closely, or if truth should be told,
Nigerian economy sustains the monarchy in UK, to be honest with you. I know they signed agreement with Gowon during the war to be drilling oil or whatever, but maybe they must have gone beyond that. So I don't see anything. In fact, that is the thing.
Okay, CM, can we just go
That
to, we'll talk about Charles later. Can we just go to
Britain
Shay?
signed this thing.
CM, can you just go to Shay and what is your take on the story published by Bloomberg?
Okay, Shay Tinubu's this thing. There is this American music they call. There is this American band. It used to be my favorite. The Whispers, and they released
CM, your line is not very good.
So that recovery, looting it. That oh God, again, maybe the empire is attacking it. Can you not hear me?
We can hear you, but in and out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, that of shit. It's a shame anyway. Well, it's not. Well, I mean, that is a typical Nigeria. After all, they learned it from somewhere. It didn't just happen. It's been practiced before. So when something, you recover something, somebody takes it again. A house that was meant to be seized suddenly now being sold, using Sheyi as a front. Sheyi can have $11 million or so. It's just his father. I'll just use anywhere to do it. After all, in fact, what I wanted to even mention was not even Sheyi. It's Ekweremadus case. Because of him, I checked up on the internet. Elysis machine sells for just in Naira terms 4.8 million. So with 100 million, Ekweremadu can buy 200 pieces at the rate of 4.8 million, which is 96 million for 200. I mean, for 20, not 200, for 20. This means that if he goes to UNTH or to Enugu State University Teaching Hospital somewhere, then with another 500 or 400 million, he goes to Dangote for direct buying a stock price cement. He can with 500 million, he can construct a standard world-class dialysis center for his people. He could have done that. This is not his personal money, just from constituency allowance, but he refused. So I've done this. I'm looking now for sponsors to do what Ekweremadu couldn't do for his people. We will do crowdfunding. I don't care. I will put it up in the next maybe in the next few weeks. If we can gather money to build a standard dialysis in Enugu, for what Ekweremadu could not do as a senator for almost 20 years, we spearhead it to see if we can do something like that, because it's a shame. There are people suffering kidney. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, CM.
Let me stop
Prince,
here.
Prince Akwachi, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dr. Damages.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm okay. Good morning. Good morning, other panelists. I believe pretty much CM already touched Ekweremadu. I have nothing to say about that other than the fact that he deserves much more, time in jail, you know. But, you know, the judge, one thing, when people keep talking about, oh, they would have sent him back to Nigeria to serve, had even this man was sent to Nigeria, he will not serve the term. Did we even listen to the judge when the judge said that he had about 50, letters from, different people, and he read every one of them. He read every one of them. And all they were talking about is good conduct, good conduct. Those letters, who did it come from? Coming from Buhari, coming from Malami. Malami that even your own Supreme Court. You understand? Your own, would I say Supreme Court or whatever it is, because High Court that you send somebody to, ask you to release the person, and you are still holding the person. Or is it other things, the one about Naira? Have they obeyed all those things? No. But they want to write UK and plead for pardon. Oh, he's a nice guy. Oh, why won't he be a nice guy? When they talk about foundation, the foundation, is it his money? Is it not taxpayers' money that he is using for that foundation and still pleasing people of that money? They will go there and give crumbs to poor villagers, and those ones will be dancing. Hey, we got money. Probably they buy them rice, they give them wrapper and all that kind of a thing. Just like CM said, he could have bought about 20 machines. And the daughter, believe you me, I'm not saying, and everybody have one thing or the other that they're going through. But the thing is, she is in a place that they can manage it. She's not the first to go through dialysis, and she will not be the last to go through dialysis. So I don't want to, when people talk about, oh, fatherly love, to hell with that. That poor boy that they took, they wanted to discard that boy. As a matter of fact, when people even talk, that boy was on the street. That was where he met some police officers that actually interviewed him and got the facts. But people will come here and say all sorts of things. That's that. For Sheyi Tinubu, it's nothing else. That's the father. Because how did all these things unravel? It only unraveled because of the fact that the UK have a new policy whereby properties, people who buy properties disclose their owners. And then they find out that a particular shell company, when I talk about shell company, is not Shell Oil or whatever, was used, of which the name was changed to Tinubu, to Sheyi Tinubu. And that particular shell company, money was transferred from Alpha Beta to that account. And the person who was the person whose name was on that shell company was the just immediate past governor of Osun State. All those things are all facts. Some people will say, "Oh, are you jealous? Or are you jealous?" I don't care. The home I live in, I bought it with my money,
Sorry,
and I live well.
sorry, just to be clear, did you say the funds that came into this shell company came from Alpha Beta?
Yes,
And this
yes,
is a
forefather.
complete fact.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's not. I'm not
No.
speculating. This is the facts.
That is correct. I know that story.
I rest my case. In Nigeria's case, when I think about it, my head it bugs my head so much.
That is
But I
how
rest
they
my case for now.
that is how they clean their stolen money. They pass it
Yep,
through all kind of medium to clean it up.
yep.
All right. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Rudolph, before you start rotating again, I got kicked out, so I didn't discuss Sheyi Tinubu.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to preface my discussion differently. There are so many types of parents when it comes to raising children. There are some parents who are able to discipline their children. The children end up being well behaved. They go to school and they're well behaved, and the teacher doesn't have to step in to fill in that discipline gap that's missing. I think of the parent as Nigeria, and I think of the teacher as the UK or a foreign government, for example. Then you have parents who don't discipline their kids, and the kids ends up not doing things properly. Kid is not disciplined, and the school ends up disciplining the child. And the parents who are, when they hear about it, they appreciate that, right? They don't make any fuss about it. And then there are parents who make a fuss about it. Okay. The fourth type of parents are the parents that do not discipline their children. Their children, in this case, go out in the public or to school and make a mess of things. And the school is forced to step in and discipline the child. That is how I see certain things when it comes to the whole sovereignty that forefathers was alluding to. And I also see Shei stuff in this light as well. I think Nigeria has come to a point whereby we cannot hide or make excuses on that sovereignty anymore. We're at the precipice. Things are really, really bad. That at this point, you being inflexible about sovereignty.
I do not.
Can you all hear me? CM, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I think Nigeria is at a precipice. Nigeria is at a breaking point whereby we can. I was going to say we can take all the help we can get, but that's the wrong term. Nigeria is at a precipice whereby anything that can bring justice without destroying the country isn't necessarily a bad thing. And so Nigeria has failed to discipline its kid, Ekweremadus, right? And the kid ends up being disciplined by the teacher, the UK government or foreign governments. And so the parents in Nigeria or some Nigerians are complaining, oh, the child is my mess. Why should you discipline my child in your school? It's my child, that sort of thing. I've seen parents like that. Their children end up being a mess. They end up being criminals. I've seen some of those. I grew up in Onitsha, so I've seen some of those things. The parents didn't care at all. The kids that are growing up in the hood or in the slum. I'm not saying all the kids that grew up in such an environment end up bad, but there are certain kids like that. Their parents don't really care that much. The children get disciplined at school. The parent comes to the school to fight instead of trying to listen.
One of such parents.
Wait. Instead of the parent trying to listen and figure out, oh, this is what my kid did. This is why the school disciplined the child. What can I do differently? The person they go about is this whole default mode of like trying to defend their child. Oh, I know my child. My child probably didn't do this. You know, why are you disciplining my child? That's how I think of it. So I think we should start thinking of a point whereby we shelve this whole inflexibility and we'll talk about sovereignty and figure out what is good for Nigeria. I am not at all sorry that the UK did not respect any of those nonsense that Malami and the rest wrote. Yes, I am sad in a working country, in a perfect scenario, and a country that works like Nigeria. The proper thing to have been done is to extradite the Ekweremadus. That is what I've done. But Nigeria is so broken that at least some level of justice can be meted out. And if it's meted out by a sovereign, by a outside nation, I actually do not mind. With respect to Shei Tinubu, I'm going to speak for 20 seconds. I am starting to see a shift in how Nigerian populace think about things. There used to be a time where there wasn't a lot of exposure to corruption. Even when corruption is exposed, people don't really care. But after Shawara started Sahara reporters, things are being exposed. Nigeria started to have a different sort of consciousness, to the point of having, what was that? The protest that was had, and eventually people were the SARS protest. So I don't mind at all that things like that are being exposed. Children of politicians like this should not be given any soft landing at all.
All right, thank you. Forefathers.
Yeah. Dominic, I think you shouldn't have tread into that area because it just shows your skewed thinking. Because you just use an analogy that describes a child being admonished by another parent, and that is something that happens within communities. What the real analogy is about a child being admonished by a pedophile or a drug baron or name it.
Wait, I'm confused.
Hold on. Because these people that you're talking about, I just stated earlier on that they were investigating a sex ring, pedophilia sex ring in Westminster. The case collapsed. They brought even a judge from Australia to come and find out investigate it. She resigned. The case completely collapsed. Today, nothing happened. Phone hacking, name it. And you are saying, and these people are responsible. I just watched a video of the Princess Royal saying slavery hasn't ended.
Okay, can I ask a clarification question?
These are the people you want to administer justice, or
can I make a quick point?
Your own child.
Let me make a quick point before you continue. I just noticed something you made in your arguments. Let me bring out two things right now. There's I want to see which side you're on. Are you saying that the UK doesn't have a moral high ground to prosecute such a case, since their hands are dirty when it comes to uh, uh, proper jurisprudence? I mean, proper meting out of justice. So if they are corrupt, then what right do they have to prosecute Ekweremadus? That is the first thing. That's the first question. The second thing is, or are you saying that a sovereign nation should not have delved into such a matter? Because now it seems like you are changing your tune. Which side are you?
Sovereignty is sovereignty.
But
Sovereignty
then,
is sovereignty. I'm saying that they have a
sorry,
right to
but
try
then
in
it's
there.
totally different. But then it's totally
can
different
I
from
make a
what you
comment
are
quickly
talking about
before I
now.
want to go away?
You're talking about
Now,
moral high ground.
forefather.
In
The
that
British,
case, I say
the
what
British
you
didn't
Let's
talking about
finish
moral high
one.
ground.
Let's finish one
sorry,
discussion first,
sorry, let
please.
me help you, Dominic.
Wait, 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 wait,
The
wait,
British did not come to
wait.
Nigeria.
KJ, if you jump in, other people start jumping in. Wait. KJ, if you jump in, other people start jumping in. You're talking about moral high ground. I think most of us here understand that point and will agree the moral high ground. For a corrupt, if you are corrupt, then you don't have a right to judge other corrupt officials from a sovereign country. We all get that point. That is not what I am trying to, most of us, I believe, are trying to point out here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because it appears that's what you are saying. You're saying
Okay, listen, I just want to make this simple analogy and go. The British didn't come to Nigeria to arrest Ekweremadus with their moral, whether they are low in morality or not. They were sitting in their country. You carried yourself jejely, left your country, and brought your whatever to their own country. Are you saying if you now come to my house, I don't have the right to determine to you how you should live in my house? No, that's the first thing I do. If you come in, I say, this is how you're going to operate. So he took himself there, plus the boy and himself. If you had done this in Nigeria, the British will not, and like I said earlier, people's organs have been harvested even without paying them kobo, okay, in Nigeria. But they have not ever intervened. But they're saying now, if you come to Britain, there's a way to operate. This is our modus operandus. And if you go against it, it does not matter who you are. The law will apply its course. It's not like Nigeria where you can now call the Inspector General of Police and say, look, let my guy go. And that is the end of it. Okay? Some few days ago, we witnessed Donald Trump in a court here in New York. And it's not even a federal court. It's a district court or a district local government court that the former president went to answer for a query. That is a system that works. And I'm not saying that the US is perfect. I'm not saying that England is perfect. We're saying that since you brought yourself, then be ready to face the consequence. And there's something the Americans say: if you know you can't serve the term, don't do the term. Don't do the crime if you can't serve the term. But if you do the crime, you serve the term. It's simple.
the idea for me, I don't have any issue with them having their right to prosecute him. My issue is that we as Nigerians are saying it's okay for him to be jailed there. I'm saying that we should find a way to bring him back and deal with him in our own country, because he's a senior official that is going to be in jail in a foreign country that they can do anything with. So that is how I look at it. Your own sovereignty, you can't it's sacred. You can't give it up. Just like they shouldn't give theirs up too. You can't say that some other person should administer your justice to your own senior officials like that. I don't think they will even have their own senior official go to a Nigerian jail. They will do everything to get that official back because they understand the implications.
So,
I'm not even understanding your point, forefathers, because this
maybe
doesn't
because
make
it
no
flies
sense.
over
Your
your head. I don't
argument.
know, but I'm telling you, it's a very, very common sense this point. You should value your own. You will not have your own child be chastised by some other person. You will not have it. You say, bring my child home, let me deal with my child myself. That's what I'm saying we should do.
All right, hold on.
Can I say, Rudolph, can I say something, please, Rudolph?
Okay, go ahead.
Because I like forefathers. You know, when he's still on some compound like this, you think he's making so much sense, and it's quick to call somebody that is screwing to that behind 35 to. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, Ekweremadus is important. If I commit the same crime, will you hear about it?
No.
So we should not say, oh, they should bring it back to go and persecute them. I live here in America. If I commit crime, today if I commit crime,
what will happen? I would wait for Nigeria's decision before they judge me and send me to jail or carry out whatever this is. This is a law that had been passed 2015. It is a law in their country. You go there, you break the law. But moreover, his
There's no need to
daughter,
change the goalpost.
what is the probability that his daughter is not even a citizen of that country? So what about the millions, what about the hundreds of thousands of people who are wallowing in jail, Nigerians who are wallowing in jail abroad? When have you said Rose is concerned, we should come and tell them to repatriate them?
I also still, what the question you should be asking me instead of just jumping into conclusion is, should they also be brought back? I would say yes.
No. Let him stay in jail over there.
What is wrong with you people?
You have never raised an issue on that. Why would you never? So, see, to Nigeria, we don't care what
Why would you have your own people being in jail somewhere else? You don't value your own people. Why would you value your country?
You understand?
Dr. Dominic, can we?
What I'm concerned
they don't value their own people. Why would you value your country when you don't value your country? Your people are more important. Your people make up your country. You don't even value them.
Please, can I
That's why you stole your people into slavery. This is the kind of mindset that's happening.
Can I finish?
They don't even value their own people.
Can I finish, Tunanja?
Everybody,
can I finish, Tunanja? The concern, Tunanja, you are to speak about in the national. You are concerned that a public officer is taking our hard-earned taxpayers' money to spend in another man's economy. You are not concerned about that.
Did I not say we should deal with him in Nigeria?
That's not
he should come and serve.
The man, the moral issue here is that he went to another country and he committed a crime. How
and
we should do about it? It is not that
we should punish him.
I don't care about that.
Ask yourself, would the UK leave a senior official in Nigeria? Why do you think they will fight to bring that official back to their country? Would the UK leave a senior official in Nigeria? Will the UK leave a senior official in Nigeria? Answer the question.
Small father, how many UK senior officials is coming to Nigeria to buy house?
If this man, right?
We already have evidence of the US getting their own official out of the UK. We already have evidence of the US getting their official out of the UK. And you are excusing nonsense. I don't understand the way you putting even. You see all you people doing the same thing, but you don't want to copy them.
Can you allow somebody to speak, please? Can you allow somebody to speak? Can you allow, you've made your point, can you allow people to make points, right? This is not an ordinary, but this is a public official. Let's say hypothetically this happened to Obi. Is that how Nigeria will react if this happened to Obi? Because he delivered evidence of democracy when he had the opportunity. This man served for 26 years, he failed. You are asking me now to be advocating for my own hard-earned money to be spent again to repatriate him. He should wallow there. It's cheaper for us as a taxpayer to rot in jail over there to bring him back. I am not going to advocate for that.
These are the people that sold the people. These are the kind of people that
finish my point. Can you allow me finish my point? I am not going to advocate for my hard-earned taxpayers' money again to be spent to repatriate him. No, it is cheaper for him to wallow away there. I don't care what happened to him. He has failed. He had opportunity for 26 years. Excuse my Yoruba. He failed. Okay, whatever that happened to him, we don't care on behalf of, we don't care Nigerians, we don't care. We are not going to, because it's not going to be cheap. They are not going to depart him for free. There are millions of Nigerians across the globe who are wallowing in jail who deserve our hard-earned money to be spent to repatriate them back, not the Ekweremadus. If you listen to that judgment, even that man, can I finish, Tunanja? If you listen to the judgment, the judge even said that for the last 6 months, he received over 700,000 pounds. For our money, our own money, legally.
Yes.
It's about to be spent in another man's economy.
So he should be punished overseas.
Who will contribute another money again? To hell with him.
Oh my God. See, do you know that no matter how much outrage you show, it's not going to change the point.
Into Nigeria to do
no matter how much outrage you show, it's not going to change the point. If you don't value your own people, don't be surprised your own people don't value your own country too.
Respect.
No, this is what I don't value him.
Go to their country.
He never valued us. Ekweremadus never valued the people he represented. If he valued the people he represented,
so
he would not be in this situation in the
first
place.
Nigeria.
Yes. Yes.
Why am I giving
that is the only thing I can do. Since the law, excuse me, since the law failed to take its course, that is the only thing I can do. The law failed, so
if I mute people and they unmute themselves, I'll kick them. I'll kick someone out, please, because this thing can't keep going on and on and on. Rudolph, I have a suggestion, but you can discard my suggestion. I think for once in a long time, we should give maybe forefathers, if everyone, hopefully everyone agrees, let us give forefathers 4 minutes to explain to us what sovereignty means and why we should have blind allegiance to his so-called sovereignty and patriotism when things are burning. No, everyone's because I think I will. This is always once and for, because I think sometimes some of us get a little bit exasperated when he just blindly focuses on his inflexible when it comes to patriotism and sovereignty. Yes, a lot of us understand that there's a little bit of slippery slope whereby if you allow your citizen, a foreign country, not to do what is proper, then in the future that may keep happening to Nigerians. I understand that point that he's making, but this I feel sometimes there should be some level of flexibility. If you are not flexible with certain things, how are you going to change things? That is where I stand. So I think maybe we should give him 4 minutes to actually explain what it means. So if it means that a Nigerian goes to the UK, right, kills millions of people there, he's a terrorist. Maybe he's not. Let's keep it simple. Goes commits an enormous crime in the UK, but he's an active office holder. Let's say he's vice president or whoever. Should he be extradited to Nigeria? Does that, if the common man, should the common man who is eating agbado and is hungry and is dying advocate for his senator who killed and committed a enormous crime there to be extradited back to Nigeria just because he wants to maintain sovereignty? Or should he be happy while eating his agbado and dying in Nigeria that politician wallows in the UK? Go ahead, so others. We'll give you 4 minutes. Explain for us today. Let's understand.
Okay, so sovereignty is something that is a birthright, something that we all know in the Bible that Esau sold away for cheap, and we sold our people. The most valuable thing that God has given us is our people. We sold them as slaves on an industrial scale, and we value our people. We may not know it. We have been conditioned not to value our people's lives. And this is something that this new generation is beginning to realize. This is why you see Abike Abiri in the flight that is coming from Sudan now. Something you will not see 20 years ago. Because if you don't value your own, who will value them? If you don't put this treasure onto your people's life, every single strand of hair, who will value them? The system that created Ekweremadus, we like to pretend as if we are not part of it. We are all corporates. Now you want to wash your hand and let foreigners take care of it for you. Sovereignty, if you outsource your justice, your survival to foreigners, you don't have any right to have any of them because you've just given it away. It's just that simple. This is something that any people understand. If it was in the UK now, like the way we saw the American, this took their citizen out of America, the UK. Why didn't they leave the citizen there? So that the UK police will arrest that woman and try her in the UK. No, they shoveled her to America because they put their citizen first. I've seen Israel exchange a dead body of their citizen for more than 100 prisoners to the other side. A dead body, one dead body of their own citizen. They exchange it for more than 100 or something. Because if you don't value your own, people, nobody else will value you. Everywhere we go, they treat us like trash. We went to Sudan. We tried to get into this in Ethiopia. They wouldn't let us in. We tried to get into this in Egypt. They wouldn't let us in until Buhari begged them before they let us in. Everywhere we go, they try to kill us because we don't value each other. This is what I have been having this conversation even in this fellow Nigerians. I keep telling them that the moment you start trading away your birthright for others to take care of, that is the end, though. That is a slippery slope. You just keep going every day way. And sovereignty is non-negotiable. It's a sacred thing. If your person mess up, bring them back and deal with them there. And you have to have your leaders start understanding that. They will start doing all this nonsense health tourism. They will start going to the UK to rest or have a meeting. You have to emphasize your heritage, your country that you belong to first. Otherwise, you're just a slave. Like all they claim, we are still under.
You have about 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Let me add a clarification. You can complete it before the 4 minutes ends. So, but how do you solve this dilemma whereby the person who is supposedly our own person, that was our own, like you said, is actually one of the people that messed up this sovereignty, supposedly? If that person in question was doing what is right by the people, then maybe Nigeria would work enough for that respect to be earned. So how do you convince Nigerians to even have the empathy or the passion to even push for that sovereignty to be respected, if the individual involved is the person that messed it up in the first place, someone as high in the ranks as Ekweremadus. Go ahead. You have
I
1
think
minute.
you start from anywhere you want to start. You start from there. The moment you start valuing any single person, you set an example, it leads to another example, and the next person will learn from it that they belong to a country that actually cares about what happens to them. Their behavior will change. It will alter. If you don't value your people, if you don't treat them as if they are the most valuable thing you have in the country, other than oil, people are the most valuable things we have. If we don't care for ourselves, what else have we got? This is something that is sacred. If you give it up, or look at what other people are doing to us. They are running circles around us because they've convinced us that we don't value ourselves, and we are demonstrating it every day. That is a very, very simple thing. You all have children.
You didn't answer my question though. I'm
What
talking
was the
about
question?
how about if you're talking about sovereignty, right? You have about 30 seconds left, and I'm saying, how do you solve the dilemma and hope for sovereignty if the actual person that is being held there that you are calling our own is one of the people that destroy the sovereignty and the lack of respect that we're dealing with today? You have 30 seconds. Please respond to the specific question.
It's not a dilemma for me. It's a matter of you bring the person, fight to get the person back into your country so that the person can face justice in your country. And it's up to you, it's up to every Nigerian to make sure their justice system becomes stronger and is able to function. Don't outsource anything to foreigners, especially justice and security. It's crazy.
Well, thank you, forefathers. That is very helpful to a lot of us and the audience.
All
Rudolph,
right,
take it
all
away.
right, all right. Thank you.
Rudolph, I beg,
I have my
let's
hands
give
up
Aja
since.
say
I
something.
have my hands up since.
Because this is
I have my hands
important.
up since.
Because
Please, good Lord, give
Can
me
everyone
1 minute.
why they have so much?
Go ahead.
I'm stepping out
KJ,
now. Just 1
go
minute.
ahead. I'll speak.
Okay, just 1 minute. Now, forefather, I like your argument, and I wish I could accept it. But you see, sovereignty in this day and time is even very fluid right now. I can be in the US and I place a sovereignty to another nation totally, and that applies. But let's go back to the Nigerian question which you're talking about. The sovereignty of a nation does not come from the people. In other words, me and you now cannot say, okay, because we are sovereign, so Ekweremadus, nothing should happen to him. It is the government that backs up the sovereignty of a nation. And if the government policy is not helping to, to strengthen the individuals, their citizens outside of their geographical location, how then do they claim to be sovereign? How does the nation now apply its authority over that their subject that is being detained or harassed? Or I'll give an example. And you mentioned somebody I have always been fighting for a long time with. That is Abike. Each time there is an issue with a Nigerian outside of the shores of Nigeria, she goes to defend the country. She does not even stand on the part of the Nigerian to say, oh, this guy shouldn't be treated this way. She said, if you get to a nation and you don't obey their law, you should expect anything that comes to you. This has always been the argument. And you expect that other nations will respect you as a Nigerian? No. Even you, when you get to your airport, when they are coming back, how are you treated as a sovereign nation, as an individual, as a person of the geographical location you are entering? You're not treated with courtesy, like the Americans will treat their citizens, like the British will treat their citizens, like other nations will treat their citizens. And these people are looking at you. I'll give you another example, which is very recent. Some days ago, we're having an election in Nigeria here. And a certain group of people are telling the Igbos, you cannot be here. Go back to your country. Go back to your place. Go back to your place. And some days ago in Ghana, they gathered to tell the Nigerians to go, not to do trade. Okay? Did you see that video? It traded on the net for a while. Okay? Because they've learned from us. We don't respect our own people. And you think that outsiders will respect us? No. So the same treatment that was being melted to us in Lagos as we're giving to ourselves, now foreigners are beginning to imitate it also to tell us, you can't do business here. Go back to your country and go and do business. So my point, if we are going to say Nigeria nation should hold, that's the nation hold, the sovereignty of Nigeria should hold, it should be, first of all, the government showing other nations that, look, this is my citizen and he has the right to, for fair hearing. Have you picked up our own passport and read what is written on it? And picked up the American passport and read what is written on it? Okay, if you do that, you will see the difference. You know that an American passport, you as an immigration officer has a limited time you can hold it on your hand. You can hold it a limited time, which I think is less than 5 minutes. You are supposed to do whatever you want to do with it and hand it back to the person. I have a friend whose daughter is 6 years old. They were coming into Peru, right? Yeah, and the whole Nigerians were put on a line, and they were checking everybody's bag. And the daughter's passport, because she carries an American passport, fell on the ground, and an official saw it. She is 6 years old. Okay, one of the immigration officers saw it and walked straight to her and said, "Are you the owner of this passport?" She said, "Yes." "Please come this way." Little girl, her parents were still in the line. They looked at her passport. "Oh, please come this way." He said, "I'm here with my parents." "Oh, let them come with you." Because of that passport, they took them through a different route, and they all passed, leaving the line. And at the end, they come and say, "Oh boy, what happened today will not feel deliver." That is what, that kind of authority don't come from individuals like you and I. It comes from the country. The way the country have treated its citizens, have that also given authority and told other nations, you cannot deal with our citizens this way. But what do you have in Nigeria? Our own is bad. Okay, it is bad. And so if you have a way, we can advise ourselves. Well, but if not, what you are saying is not going to apply to anybody. Okay, thank you, sir. I will.
15 seconds. I don't know what you said. What, 15
I'm going
seconds.
to head out if you want me to say anything before I leave.
Okay. I probably am the only one who is going to.
Naija quick to. Forefathers quick to throw sovereignty, nationality around without at times paying attention to the responsibility that comes with that. At a time that we are clamoring that nationalism is something that you teach the citizen, you have to actually give them reason to say, yes, I want to protect this sovereignty. Who is the better person to show example? The least Ekweremadus do is to live by example. At a point where he's a deputy senate president for like 8 years, I can bet you today, quote me wrong, 90% of his earning, our own taxpayer, our own public money, 90% of that is spent outside the shores of that country because his primary family doesn't live in Nigeria. If you listen to that judgment very well, even the judge alluded to the fact that this man had over 40 properties close around the world, but with our money, right? Even if he earned it, but they are not invested in Nigeria. If you listen to that judgment very well, the man also point at the fact that he understands that based on his position in the society in Nigeria, this judgment is going to affect him greatly. And I'll come to why that is important. At a time where if you are talking about nationalism and patriotism now, if you are advocating that as soon as Ekweremadus finish serving his sentence in London, he should also be arrested in Nigeria and tried for the same crime, unless human trafficking is legal in Nigeria. Unless that's what you're advocating for. And I'm particular about this man because he's a public officer. Because people are saying, oh, why am I not saying that about other people? No, I don't care about Tinubu because I did not vote for Tinubu. He does not represent me in Tinubu Sons in any way. He's not a public servant. This man is a public servant. One way or the other, my taxpayers' money is what he's living on. Because it's been there for so long. Another thing, we're talking about prisoner exchange, right? That's not what you said in the first place. If we ask what we want to do, we have to give him time. Then we start thinking, who do we exchange him for? What do we exchange him for? Now, at the time that we all agree that the public law, the general law that we have known have failed us, that is why this public officer can do and undo. The best we can do is to apply what I call the masses law. What we apply to me if I fucked up, excuse my Yoruba, what will happen to Dr. Damiji if you actually break the law? What will happen to you if you mess up? How are we going to treat you? If we hear today that Dr. Damiji commit half of what this man committed, guess what? The first thing people will be calling for is to show them his show. We'll not go watch him again. We will not support him again. That is us. Carry out law on our own hand. Why can't we do the same thing to these people? If we keep waiting, the Lord is like his God. Yeah, the Lord has failed us. That is how he was able to end up in another man's country, spending their own taxpayers' money. Are you advocating for me to bring out money again to bring him out? No, make him serve in time. When he comes, he should be arrested again and be tried. That is how we show example. That is how we show sovereignty. That is how we show patriotism as a Nigerian. Not necessarily because we should be all stand up all of a sudden because it's the best. No, it is the best person for us to use as a scapegoat. If another man is using him as a scapegoat, we shouldn't shy of that. Because today, if I do the same thing, my brother, the way Unakote treats me, it will not be small thing. It should not be immune. That is the only way we can move our country forward at this point. People who commit electoral fraud, if the law will not take its course, me and you can take our call. We do those people something, bring them back in the community and disgrace them. That is how our forefathers, that's the name we are bearing. Before the coming of the English law, that is how we keep our society sane. Because you know, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivier.
Can I get 1 minute to just talk in favor of what Forefather has been saying? I think people have not listened to him properly.
I can wait a little bit.
In the UK, he started out by alluding that in the UK we've had plenty of these kind of scandals, phone hacking that made news of the world fall down. We've had several pedophilia kind of roads. What's that guy that used to work for BBC, the fair-haired guy, many years ago? No, nothing came out of it. The guy, I think, somehow died, or maybe after he died, that thing came out. The angle that Forefather was taking, I think you kind of didn't really see what it is that the UK, the way they view their own people, there's a portion of the Bible it's a very long portion of the Bible. It's in Judges 9-21, and it's about the Levites whose wife was raped and killed in the process of raping by the Gibeonites. And no matter what, after he cut his wife into many parts and sent it to the 12 tribes of Israel. And when he sent it to the 12 tribes of Israel, in order to report, and then they congregated and they now wanted, this is the book of Judges, and they now wanted to look at the case. The Gibeonites, no matter what you do, they never gave up their sons. That is the angle of what Forefathers is saying. Not necessarily, wait. He's not going against what you people are saying, that whether if Ekweremadus deserves it according to the dictates, spirit, and letter of the law, that has been taken. But what he's saying is that where is the balancing here from a historical standpoint and from a president standpoint? That if you look at it holistically, right, is it really justice served? And that is the position. And this is what I want to add to what he's saying. Now you have to be able to isolate these two things. And maybe I think I take issue with Forefather a little bit. Maybe I would suggest that maybe he modeled it up a little bit. But if you isolate both of them and treat them individually, you will find merits in everything that everybody has said. And that's my submission.
Okay, hold on. I know, Dominic, you need to go. I will let you speak, but let me, Fathers, I don't know if you saw what Jesse Okonkwo posted. He was asking about the victim when you're talking about Ekweremadus. I will let you address that after Dominic. Dominic, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry. Before I lose my thought again, Flores, sorry. Let me, Mr. Scribe. What is the name of that law said the man break in the UK? Because we are talking about fair balance. I don't know when we will learn. What is the name of that?
I said isolate both of them.
Listen, hold
isolate
on.
both of them.
Let me tell you
my point.
Let me tell you something now, because it's a modern slavery act. For God's sake, who are they to actually another kind of law? But guess what? When are you going to be? When are you going to say, "Come on, this guy don't actually give a shit about you"? Why are you expecting fairness from them? Since when? When are they ever treating you fair?
You are correct.
Expecting them to be fair, I don't know.
From that angle, you are correct.
So then,
but when we look
I
at
don't
it,
expect anything from them. I am just happy that I am saying, see, whatever they do to him, let him finish. When he come, we say we go try him. He never finished. We need to actually try him in Nigeria too.
There's a reason why in economics you study microeconomics and then you study macro. That is the way I want you to look at the arguments before us now. You cannot, in my opinion,
we have been doing that for over 65 years.
Wait. We're in a conversation. We're learning here.
I
I
believe I
just
already.
don't feel.
I
Wait,
already
wait. And
addressed
the reason why I came in is that I didn't just feel. I didn't think it sat right that he should take all the bullets because I understood where he's coming from. The guy, the name of that guy was Jimmy Savile, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Savile, right? So listen, you guys might look at it differently. Maybe you don't live amongst these people. You may not understand that later down the line, you might actually understand why certain things went the way they went, and that's where I'll stop.
So,
No doubt
Mr. Scribe,
about that. But
Mr. Mr.
us
Scribe,
expecting them to do otherwise is what is baffling me. I don't
yeah.
expect them to do otherwise.
Okay.
That's the only thing they know how to do.
Ovia, hold
Why
on.
should I be
Ovia, hold
expecting
on.
otherwise?
Ovia, hold on. Go ahead,
Mr.
Dom.
Mr. Scribe, I believe I alluded a little bit to the point you are trying to make about divesting both points, which is why I addressed it by asking for fathers to make a distinction between just focusing on maintaining sovereignty versus the moral high ground. That's how I do. I don't know. I don't know
And
if you.
I don't share in his choice
I
of
don't.
words in sovereignty.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't share in that.
I
I
don't
think
know.
that he went in, he dug a rabbit hole for himself. But I
I don't
understood
know
where
if
he was
you
coming
got
from.
the way I broke it down, at least in my head, was I was covered as brought up sovereignty, which I respect and I value. And in a working Nigeria, I want things to be done properly. I want someone like Ekweremadus to be extradited in Nigeria, face the law there, and go to prison, which I know likely will not happen. And then forefathers wanted to clarify, and then he made it and that a new point, which I agree with, and I say most people agree with, which is the fact that if the UK is corrupt, there's a lot of cases that should have been addressed. They are not the masters of justice. They have a lot of skeletons in their closet. Therefore, they should not have the moral high ground to try to solve corruption for Nigeria. I already addressed that.
No, sorry, you are wrong because
No, no, no. The point I was making, I
no,
think people should
no,
be
no, no,
careful.
no,
The
no,
point I was
no,
making
no.
there was that they still defend their own people when it comes to foreigners.
No,
They don't
wait,
screw. They don't screw around.
Dr.
Point.
Dominic, please, hold on. Because this is where we normally, junctures like what you just mentioned is where things go out. You said
Go
that,
ahead.
that they are now fighting against corruption in Nigeria. Wait. The case at hand is organ trafficking in the UK. It is isolated from, irrespective that you can draw inferences and subjective connotations from the fact the way the man lived his life, who he is, his status, and some sentiments that could come in. That could turn as peripheral to it. But please don't run away from the fact that the core, the letter of which is under context, is organ trafficking. Don't mistake it. Now, within that concept of organ trafficking, everything has gone, in my opinion, to the letter of the law. But what we are seeing, what I see, what from a perspective of having looked at things from another lens, and that lens is from a lens of where is that balancing act? Is it everybody that is a British citizen that has gotten meted, that has been given these kind of balanced things? What about those boys? How many cases? Westminster Gates? How many things that we won't hear anything about?
You're
So
saying the British
that is
government, the British justice system is inconsistent.
no, I'm not saying. No, wait,
We are
excuse me.
expected to be
Wait,
patriotic and show
wait. I'm choosing my
sovereignty.
words carefully here.
Okay, can you
Listen,
keep it short?
listen.
Summarize in 2 sentences.
Okay, let me summarize it.
Yeah.
A Cameron was alleged to have done certain things to some kind of animal. Nobody said anything, right? So what we're saying is, let us not go and come out on this platform. Yes, Ekweremadus may not be our favorite person, but we need to understand that is one of our own. Two, if you are a BPSS security, if you hold security level information in the UK, if you like kill person in another country, they'll bring you back. Because they know that if you spend time, go and watch Homeland. If you spend time in that area, there is risk to their national security. Okay? So I know that for a fact. And that is where I am joining with forefathers and saying and trying my best to isolate it from what you people see as a moral issue. I agree with you. And also what we are then saying that, look, moral does not always work in certain climes.
Scribe,
Does not.
I actually don't disagree with you on that point.
We have Nigerians in Sudan that needed to be brought home. We should spend that money on them instead.
Let me speak and then head out. I don't disagree with any of what you said. Someone that has high level of security clearance in Nigeria has a lot of information about Nigeria and all that stuff. I'm saying I understand all of that part. That is not, I'm not disagreeing with any of those things. Where I am choosing to, remember, it's a balancing act, but at some point you have to choose one point, which is why you tip the balance up for whichever side you believe in. I understand that point. It's a balancing act. I understand both. What I'm saying is, for me, the balance tips a little bit higher when it comes to justice at the end of the day, and justice has been meted out in some way to Ekweremadus. Honestly, I would want him to get extradited to Nigeria, but obviously that is not something that has happened. In my personal opinion, when it comes back to Nigeria, he should actually be tried and go to jail. But that is a different question. What I wanted to mention before I head out is, wait, Ovie, there was a topic that was introduced in the beginning by myself, and I wanted to make sure that it doesn't go unaddressed. But when I leave, I was looking into passports and the strength of passports. Nigeria calls itself giant of Africa, but it really is not giant of Africa. Now, Japan has the strongest passports in the whole world. A Japanese is able to visit 193 countries without a visa. 196. So it's number one when it comes to strength of a passport. US ranks 6, 186 countries. Canada, the same 6, 186 countries. The highest in Africa, the best in Africa, is 25th position. Guess which country? Island of Seychelles. 144 countries, visa free. Guess where Nigeria ranks? 95. Seychelles is the best in Africa, ranks 25. 154 countries. Nigeria ranks 95th. 45 countries, visa free. I'd even mention Kenya and South Africa, which are actually much higher than Nigeria when it comes to strength of passport. That is the level of devaluation the Nigerian system and government has caused to Nigerians. And so there's a deep-seated issue when it comes to the Nigerian government portraying Nigeria in a good light. In a working country, it is the Nigerian embassy and Nigerian diplomats who are supposed to put us at a good light. If anything happens, let's say Nigeria decides to did something to a British citizen, something that is of a high issue politically, the first person that the UK government will call is they will summon the Nigerian ambassador to explain what's going on. The same thing with the US, the same thing with other countries, right? The representative of Nigeria in all these Western countries that you want to respect you are the guys who are ambassadors. But guess what? When it comes to even something as important as ambassadorial positions, it's all about who knows who. Corruption. I'm not even going to delve into that, right? So do you even value? Because remember, I mean, I'm not going to go to, because some of this information is very private information, but I know ambassadors and all those people, like how they work and do all these things, and they are able to meander and get into these positions. These positions are not handed out to people who are worthy of those positions, people that can go and defend you. I don't know. What's that lady who was helping with the the Sudanese evacuation? I don't know. I don't know who she is, but I mean, I would say she's
Abike Dabri.
I would say she's doing a good job, even though her personality I'm not a big fan of, and the way she runs on Twitter. It's people like that are dedicated that should be put into to do those sort of things, not people who are psychophants and want to make money. Like you call a medical doctor and you make him ambassador to UK, or you make a fertilizer manufacturer ambassador to the US. Like when I see all these ambassadorial positions, how they keep it up, it doesn't even make sense. So there are little hanging fruits that we can handle. But I just wanted to mention that passport issue to show you the value Nigeria has put itself at. Only 45 countries, and even some of the West African countries will defend against Nigerians. Try to travel from Nigeria by bus through Benin to Ghana and see what will happen. Is it common neighbor? Common neighbor.
Dr. Donny, do you know the policy?
Sorry, can I respond to what
This is not to
let
leave
me
others.
let me
I
respond
know,
to
I
Sir
know.
about this
But a
security
lot of them
clearance.
said a lot of things
It's
that
as
I've
if
not even had a chance to respond to at all.
Forefathers, hold on. Let's
hold on,
hear
Papa.
Jude.
For Jude.
This
Jude,
security
go ahead.
clearance, the security clearance and security risk of it is as if it's
He's
as if the
going
military.
twice now. Jude hasn't even said one thing.
Ovie, hold on. Ovie, hold on. Let's hear Jude. Jude, go ahead.
Let
Yeah, what I wanted to say concerning what the forefather and Scribe were arguing is that, is it we should first of all build our country before we talk about those things. You see, what you're talking about is things that can be obtained or things that are obtainable in a country that has first of all secured that same sovereignty you are talking about. Not a country who can leave their border open and terrorists will march from Niger and Republic to be killing our people, and your president will tell us that these people that are killing Nigerians are from Niger and from all neighboring countries. And then some governor will say we have to go and pay and go to other countries, African countries, and lobby them and pay them and say stop coming to kill our people. I mean, how can you talk about sovereignty when your leaders themselves, don't care a damn about the sovereignty of Nigeria? How can you tell? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You can't build something on rubble. You can't build something out on nothing. First of all, secure your country first, okay? And we all know, like Dr. Dominic has mentioned, the qualification for appointment of leadership position, especially ministerial position and other position in any incoming government in Nigeria, is simply those who participate in any presidential candidate running around, campaigning. That is just the qualification you need. If you want to doubt me, if you can assemble all the pictures of Chief Tinubu and all the people that surround him, both those that prompt him and help him that he doesn't fall, and those that clean his diapers and changes his diapers that are always around him, watch and see if they are not all the people that will be appointed in his ministerial position. I have the list, but I don't know how official it is. But when that list is made official, you'll be shocked to see that Festus Kiamu, Fani Kayode, and all these psychophants that surround him and hoodlums and area boys and agberus, even Olumo, you might be surprised to become Minister of Transportation. You might be surprised.
All your best because
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jude.
Sorry, I apologize, Dr. Damages. The one Jude mentioned something important, which I was going to mention. What actually affects whether you can get visa-free entry into certain countries is how the government responds to things back home. If your border is porous, then literally a terrorist from ISWAP, West African branch, can cross into Nigeria, get Nigerian passports, and then go visa-free into America if America allows him. So those things are things that organizations like CIA, KGB are able to look into and are able to advise the government on whether they can give you a citizen visa-free entry. So those things are important. So when you get your country right, people respect you. They can actually grant you visa-free entry. So the point of visa-free is the assumption is that your country is good enough to vet its citizens before it gives them passports. And so if they are trustworthy by your government, then maybe we can allow them into our country. So if Nigeria doesn't do its job of securing Nigeria so that our citizens are respected, then you can have a visa-free entry into certain countries.
Dr. Dominic, give a good team 2 years, and Nigeria will have 100 and at least plus 100 visa-free entry. This thing. The problem is not the visa-free entry is not, in my opinion.
Give what?
It's not
Give
even
a
our
good
problem
team.
right now.
Give a
That's
good
not our
team.
problem right now.
Listen, give a good team the task to increase the number of visa-free entries, just like the Seychelles focused on it, and they will do it. You will get more than 100. The thing is, I beg to differ with you that you have been using, and I would say other people on social media have been using visa-free entry as a barometer or as a KPI for a developed country. I beg to differ. That is not it. It is. Wait. It is. Wait. That is not a good development index at all. Stop it. I've been
It's just a
listening to it,
privilege.
and I've been listening to it, and I am of the opinion. Sorry, Dr. Jamil, let me just land this point. I'm of the opinion that it is misleading because see, you give me even me here, all I need is engagement with I discussed it. Somebody I know, somebody very close to me, is an ambassador at the moment, and I had this conversation with him. And what it will take is not much. It's just you need whoever Bianca Ojukwu. Look at what she did when she was in Spain. Look, the thing is, we are not taking it seriously. That's why that is. But is it a development index? It is not.
Hold on. Okay.
Sorry,
So
five seconds.
No,
5 seconds.
Did I say development
no,
index?
no, hold on.
Reputation.
No, hold on.
Please, 5 seconds.
Hold on.
Reputation. But anyway, I'm going to head out. Thank you all very much.
But Dominic, no, before you go, Dominic.
He wasn't addressing what I said. I said
no. I know. You.
I said development index.
This topic, I wish you'll be here when we discuss it if we get to that. But you have to also mention that India is on number 144 on that list. So there are many factors involved. I discussed
yes, certainly, absolutely.
It's not just one thing. So, but
maybe they are watching the poor people in India.
The thing is this, that people go to other countries and they don't leave. There's no way other countries will open the door for you to come and visit. And they know you will
the country. If the country is developing, if Nigeria is a mess.
It looks like they are checking how many poor people are in the country that will be looking to travel.
When Nigeria go, they don't come back.
Yeah, there's no way they will.
5 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead, Ovie.
5 seconds. 5 seconds, I beg. See,
but Ovie, you have spoken twice or 3 times now. I've not even said one thing.
Just hold on. On the passport, I think 45 countries. For that country is too much. Maybe come down to only 2 countries. Because let me apply a further analogy. We need more humiliation, just like the Chinese go to 100 years humiliation. Maybe they continue to humiliate us around the world so that